Chapter 51, Dark Evil Light, Demon Head. Lin Moyu's thoughts were correct. In the history of the Divine Summer Empire's big exam, very few examinees could pass the second stage. The fifth round Conquest Space test was also the final round. The Conquest Space had 5 stages in total. Currently, the highest record was passing the third stage. This record was set over 100 years ago. No one had broken this record since then. The examiners in Jiangning province were also speculating whether Lin Moyu could break the record. I think there's a chance. Although I don't know exactly what this guy's skills are, from his previous results we can see his skills are abnormal. The examiners no longer wanted to use powerful to describe them, but directly called them abnormal. I suspect he awakened a talent. No matter how strong a career is, it has limits. It can't be this strong. If he really awakened a talent, that would be amazing news. That's right. If he could awaken a talent right after career transition, maybe he could awaken a new talent at the second transition. You're thinking too much. Career professionals with talents are already very rare. Those with double talents are even rarer. Who knows? The examiner's chat drifted off topic, but everyone was watching the score changes. Lin Moyu's score changes were the most dramatic, either not changing or skyrocketing. Lin Moyu used his previous tactics, sending out skeleton warriors to attract the feline beastmen's attention. His method of dealing with beastmen didn't need to be novel, just effective. The skeleton warriors attracted fire, pulled monsters together, created corpses, then used corpse explosion for area damage. Lin Moyu was very familiar with this method, and its efficiency was astonishing. Soon, the scattered skeleton warriors had attracted all the visible feline beastmen. Then they began running circles around the feline beastmen archers. When the monsters were gathered enough, Lin Moyu ordered the skeleton warriors to attack. With skills activated, the level 16 feline beastmen fighters were instantly killed. Then came a series of corpse explosions. In the blink of an eye, calm returned. His score instantly increased by 20,000, reaching 34,605 points. In the second stage, each monster gave Lin Moyu 100 points. 200 monsters meant 20,000 points. The examiners were no longer surprised. This guy has entered the second stage. The monsters in the second stage only increased by 1 level. It doesn't affect him. This is just giving away points. If we had the authority, I'd really want to increase the difficulty. Yeah, send a few dozen bosses for him to kill. That would be interesting. Looking at Lin Moyu's 30,000 plus points, then at the others, the gap was too big. So far, second place was Xiao Sui. As an elemental mage, Xiao Sui had good area attack skills. She was the second fastest at clearing monsters after Lin Moyu. Her score had reached over 7,000 points. She had almost killed the first 100 monsters. After Xiao Sui was surprisingly Feng Zhu. This holy swordsman had caught up from behind, also reaching 6,000 points. This showed that holy swordsman was also a good career for dealing with groups. Zhuo Mei and Wang Zihao were a bit behind. Zhuo Mei assassinated targets one by one, stable but not very efficient. Wang Zihao was more direct, clashing head-on with monsters. As for his berserk skill, it wasn't time to use it yet. Both their scores were increasing slowly, only just over 5,000 so far. But they were both confident in themselves. Completing the first stage and breaking 10,000 points wasn't a problem. As long as they could break 10,000 points, with level, career, and results all meeting requirements, entering Summer Capital University would be certain. The Divine Summer Empire's big exam was nationwide, conducted by province. It was held on the same day and time, with similar progress each across provinces. Now, almost all provisional exams had begun the fifth round. Trial towers opened conquest spaces one after another. Anyone who could enter was undoubtedly a genius. These were the most talented examinees in the entire Divine Summer Empire this year. In the eyes of the Empire's upper echelon, these examinees were the future of the Divine Summer Empire. Each year, a batch of strong individuals emerged from them, injecting fresh blood into the Empire. In the capital of the Divine Summer Empire, the famous summer capital city, a huge tower appeared floating in midair. Countless people in Summer Capital City looked up at the sky. The tower could be clearly seen from any corner. This tower usually didn't appear. Its appearance marked the day of the Divine Summer Empire's big exam. This was the main body of the trial tower. The trial towers conducting exams in various provincial cities were all its avatars. There were 3 divine towers in the Divine Summer Empire. The Trial Tower was one of them. Another was the Divine Summer Tower located in Summer Capital University. The third was called the Demon Slaying Tower, usually at the front lines and rarely seen by citizens. Suddenly, the sky darkened and the temperature dropped sharply. Night fell in an instant, and a beam of dark evil light shot through the sky, rushing towards the trial tower at an incredible speed. "How dare you!" A thunderous voice echoed throughout the entire city. A virtual giant hand appeared in the sky, trying to block the dark evil light. "You can't stop it." Or tisk tisk, "You can't stop it." A sinister laughing sounded from the dark light as it brightened. A huge demon head appeared in the darkness. The head had 2 horns and sharp teeth, looking exactly like demons described in books. The horns emitted a piercing sound, shooting black light at the illusory giant hand. The black light collided with the giant hand, both vanishing without a sound. Then a giant eye appeared in the sky, shooting golden light towards the dark evil beam. The dark beam suddenly split in 2, one part colliding with the golden light. The other part suddenly increased speed dozens of times, instantly rushing into the trial tower. "You're seeking death." Another giant hand appeared in the sky, firmly gripping the demon head. The demon head let out a sinister laugh. "This is just an avatar. Kill it if you want. But those little ones in your trial tower..." Tisk tisk. With a bang, the demon head was crushed. Chapter 52. Abyss Power Invades. Believe in the White God. 3 figures appeared next to the main body of the trial tower. Their forms were imposing, standing in mid-air. Just standing there, they seemed to connect heaven and earth. I didn't expect those Abyss scum to launch a sneak attack. They're all creatures that can't stand the light. What do we do now? One of them made contact with the trial tower to probe the situation inside. The Abyss scum have snuck in. Their targets are the examinees in the conquest space. The space inside the tower has been disrupted. Abyss power has contaminated the rules. The ground inside the tower was originally taken from Abyss soil, which is advantageous for them. I need time to set things right. How long? 1 hour. Meanwhile, inside the tower's conquest space, the students were struggling to kill monsters. Suddenly, all the monsters disappeared collectively. Then the world changed. The atmosphere instantly became more oppressive. Wisps of black gas rose from the ground. How did this happen? What's going on? Why did the monsters suddenly disappear? Lin Moyu immediately gathered his skeleton warriors to protect himself. When the situation was unclear, protecting oneself was the first choice. Lin Dummy, a familiar voice. Lin Moyu saw Xiao Sui. Seeing others in the conquest space was surprising to Lin Moyu. Not just him, Xiao Sui was also surprised. The skeleton warriors opened a path to let Xiao Sui in. Xiao Sui asked, "Do you know what happened?" Lin Moyu shook his head, indicating he didn't know. Xiao Sui said, "I was just killing monsters when they suddenly disappeared. I don't know what happened." Xiao Sui was startled at first, but with Lin Moyu here, it didn't seem so scary anymore. Lin Moyu was too calm, and his calmness was transmitted to Xiao Sui. Then beams of light lit up in the dark conquest space. More and more examinees appeared in the conquest space. There were over 100 people. Besides the 5 from Jiangning province, examinees from other provinces had also arrived here. "Children!" Suddenly a voice sounded. "I am Bai Yuan." Wow. Everyone in the conquest space widened their eyes in shock. The White God. It's actually the White God. I can't believe I'm hearing the White God's voice. Bai Yuan was a top expert in the Divine Summer Empire, respectfully called the White God. His voice immediately caused a strong reaction in the conquest space. The White God's voice not only echoed in the conquest space, but also spread to every exam venue. Ning Zhuanfang's expression changed slightly. Why has the White God appeared? Has something happened? Bai Yuan's voice sounded again. Demons from the Abyss world have invaded the conquest space. We are repairing the rules of the conquest space, which will take about an hour. The demons from the Abyss world are targeting you. So in the next hour, you need to protect yourselves. We don't know what methods Abyss demons will use against you. I believe that as long as we unite as one, the invading Abyss force will be helpless against you. We, the people of Divine Summer, fear no battle and are unafraid of death. His words carried strong persuasive power, evoking a strong resonance. Fear no battle, unafraid of death. Fear no battle, unafraid of death. Fear no battle, unafraid of death. The examinees were all young people full of vigor. Their emotions were stirred up, and they shouted loudly one after another. Xiao Sui couldn't help wanting to shout too, but seeing the still silent Lin Moyu, she gave up with her hand half raised. Although Lin Moyu didn't join in the shouting, he was only 18 and also from Divine Summer. There was inevitably excitement in his eyes. He wouldn't shout, but when it came to killing Abyss demons, he wouldn't hold back. The examinees began to gather. Their education from childhood had told them that the Abyss was a very frightening place. It was full of countless monsters, demons, dungeons, and equipment. They say the Abyss is terrifying. Even the weakest monsters there are level 70 and elite, Xiao Sui said softly. She had heard about the terrors of the Abyss from Jia Dongyang and was afraid. Lin Moyu had only seen the Abyss mentioned briefly in books. In other words, he knew nothing about the Abyss. I believe in the White God, Lin Moyu said calmly. Since Bai Yuan said that if they unite as one, they could resist the invading Abyss forces, Lin Moyu grasped the key point in Bai Yuan's words. What they needed to resist was not the Abyss itself, but the invading forces from the Abyss. The force probably wouldn't be too strong. They should be able to resist it. Otherwise, if a real Abyss monster came in, a level 70 elite monster could instantly kill everyone here. Xiao Sui also. In the outside world, Ning Zhuanfang's gaze sank to think such a thing would happen. He was much calmer than the examiners, who were somewhat panicked. How could this happen? I didn't expect this to happen. The Abyss deliberately targeted the big exam. No, they're targeting those geniuses participating in the 5th round of tests. If this isn't handled well, they'll come every year in the future. This is cutting off the roots of our Divine Summer Empire. Those who could enter the conquest space were all geniuses, the future of the Divine Summer Empire. This move by the Abyss was indeed vicious. All of you shut up. Ning Xuanfang suddenly spoke, silencing the examiners. Ning Xuanfang's gaze swept over them like a sword. Tell the people outside not to panic. Believe in the White God. You too believe in the White God. The examiners respectfully said one after another, believe in the White God. The White God's status was lofty. No one in the Divine Summer Empire would doubt his words. Soon the outside world calmed down. Everyone chose to believe in the White God. They also prayed for the examinees in the conquest space. The atmosphere in the conquest space became increasingly heavy. A blood-red moon appeared in the sky at some point. It's the Abyss Blood Moon, someone exclaimed. The Abyss forces have begun to move. Everyone get ready. Chapter 53. Finally, someone comes to die. Moonlight fell like snow on the ground. The smell of blood in the air became even stronger. In the few minutes after the White God finished speaking, all examinees had prepared for battle. There were no support careers here, only combat careers. The examinees formed a battle formation. Knights at the front with mages and archers behind. The knights followed their faith. To kill their teammates, one would have to step over their corpses first. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Not bad. Too bad you'll all die. 1 hour is enough to kill all of you. It's a pity I can't take your corpses back. Young human flesh is the most delicious. Ha ha ha. The cold voice, along with the bloody moonlight, made people shiver. Lin Moyu's expression flashed with disgust. These sneaky bastards were the most despicable. Xiaosui was scared pale, moving closer to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu seemed to give her a sense of security. Not just Xiaosui, many were scared, their faces not looking good. They're coming, someone shouted. A huge figure appeared in the moonlight. Detection spells immediately flew over, stirring up breezes. Feline Beastman Warrior. Abyss Contaminated. Level 19. Someone suddenly cried out, I remember now. The conquest space has a level limit. The highest is level 19. His shout reminded others of this fact. That's right. How could I forget? The conquest space maxes out at level 19. I was startled earlier. It really is only level 19. Then what's there to be afraid of? There are so many of us. Before he could finish, he suddenly fell silent, unable to continue. Behind that huge figure, more and more figures appeared, endless in number, at least 100. All level 19 monsters, all contaminated by the Abyss. Each monster was over 3 meters tall, emanating a terrifying aura. They collectively walked towards the examinees, shaking the ground with each step. In the moonlight, the monsters looked extremely ferocious. Their tails were covered in dense barbs. After being contaminated by Abyss power, the feline beastman warrior's appearance had greatly changed, becoming even more terrifying. A powerful pressure descended from all directions. The examinees were only 18 after all, having never experienced a real battlefield. When had they ever seen so many terrifying monsters? Their legs went weak with fear. Much of their earlier courage was lost. Xiaosui's face was also pale, unconsciously grabbing Lin Moyu's clothes. What do we do? Lin Moyu's gaze was solemn. Judging by their size, these aren't ordinary monsters. At least enhanced elite monsters. Very troublesome, but still manageable. He rarely spoke so much, seemingly trying to reassure Xiaosui. But his words didn't reassure Xiaosui at all, instead making her more afraid. If they're all enhanced elite monsters, aren't they like nightmare dungeon monsters? Suddenly, a faint smile appeared on Lin Moyu's lips. Contaminated by abyss power, mutated. Does that mean there will be experience? Lin Moyu thought of a possibility. If it was as he thought, could these monsters level him up? The huge monsters were approaching, not running, but slowly advancing, as if toying with everyone, not in a hurry to kill them all. The cold voice of the abyss demon sounded again. Are you scared? Are you terrified? These monsters have been strengthened by my power, each equivalent to an enhanced elite monster. Not too many, just 100 of them. The white god said, if you unite, you can win. Now look, can you really? Oh, there are over 100 of you too. Just fight for one-on-one. Should we duel or have a group fight? How about we have a tournament like your exams? 100 matches, winners live, losers die. The demonic voice struck another blow to everyone's morale. As the monsters approached, the examinees retreated. The formation immediately split into 2 layers. Wang Zihao's face was pale, his legs shaking as he retreated. The holy swordsman Feng Shu gripped his sword, his face grim but not retreating a step. Zhuo Mei was the same, holding her dagger, prepared to fight to the death. There were quite a few examinees like Feng Shu and Zhuo Mei, ready for battle. Lin Moyu glanced at them, then he moved. Crack. Crunch. The skeleton warriors charged to the front, with Lin Moyu following behind. Xiaosui looked anxious. What are you doing? Come back. What are you going to do? Always like this, never saying anything. Xiaosui stomped her foot, then followed. At this moment, Lin Moyu suddenly said in a low voice, Go back. Xiaosui paused. I don't want to. Suit yourself. Lin Moyu didn't say anything more. If she wanted to follow, so be it. It wouldn't affect anything anyway. Lin Moyu's sudden movement attracted many people's attention. What's he doing? He actually charged forward. So many skeletons. Are those his summons? Is he a summoner? Does anyone know him? Detection spells fell on Lin Moyu one after another. Lin Moyu, level 16, Necromancer. Necromancer? What career is that? Never heard of it. Don't know. Never heard of this career before. Could it be some new career? What should we do? Should we charge together? Only about a dozen people followed Lin Moyu's charge. Feng Shu and Zhuo Mei were among them, prepared to die. Even if they were to die in battle, they would die as warriors. The people of Divine Summer fear no battle and are unafraid of death. The Abyss Demon sneered. Oh, finally someone comes to die. Not bad courage, worthy of praise. Such admirable bravery, I almost don't want to kill you. How about becoming this Demon King's servant in the Abyss? Chapter 54. Such a career cannot possibly exist. Lin Moyu ignored the Abyss Demon's words. He suddenly stopped when he was about 50 meters away from the monsters. Have you come to your senses? The gates of the Abyss are always open for you. The Abyss Demon's voice sounded again. Lin Moyu's eyes now held a faint smile. The maximum range of corpse explosion was 100 meters. 50 meters was the middle distance. It was both safe and sufficient. Xiaosui came to Lin Moyu's side. She knew Lin Moyu must have his own thoughts, so she didn't ask much. Why did you stop? Why aren't you advancing? Feng Zhu, Zhuo Mei, and others also rushed over, looking puzzled. This is far enough. Lin Moyu said softly, pointing forward. Whoosh! All skeleton warriors appeared simultaneously. A full 100 skeleton warriors, like an army. So many! He actually has so many summons. This career looks powerful. After the skeleton warriors appeared, they charged forward like towards the feline beastmen warriors like lightning. Such fast speed. Zwome's eyes suddenly narrowed. As an infiltrator, she excelled in agility attributes, with very fast burst speed. But now she found her speed was far inferior to the skeleton warriors. Oh, so many summons. And they're undead summons. Those bones can be fed to watchdogs when taken back. In the blink of an eye, the skeleton warriors had reached the feline beastmen. Skill. At Lin Moyu's mental command, the skeleton warriors' blades simultaneously emitted dazzling red light. Over a dozen skeleton warriors used skills on a single feline beastman at the same time. Streaks of red light fell, and the feline beastman was immediately heavily wounded. The skeleton warrior's attack power was unexpectedly strong. The feline beastmen, contaminated by abyss power, had become extremely powerful. Yet they still didn't die under these attacks. Their huge battle blades fell on the skeleton warriors. Lin Moyu could sense the skeleton warriors were all injured, but the injuries weren't severe. From the damage the skeleton warriors took, he roughly judged the opponent's attributes. Strength should be around 3,000. Constitution should exceed 3,500. The higher the constitution, the better. After using their skills, the skeleton warriors continued attacking the feline beastmen without pause. Over a dozen skeleton warriors ignored attacks, focusing all their efforts on the feline beastmen. A few seconds later, the feline beastman fell with a miserable cry. Killed level 19 feline beastman warrior. Experience plus 8,000. There was indeed experience. Lin Moyu found his judgment was correct. The experience was a bit low, but some was better than none. Light glowed in his palm. Boom! The sudden explosion startled them. Then they saw an unbelievable sight. Seemingly powerful feline beastman warriors were falling like wheat. Boom! Boom! Explosions came one after another, each taking out over a dozen feline beastmen. After more than 10 earth-shattering explosions, all the feline beastmen were dead. Lin Moyu checked his experience. He was just a bit short of leveling up. They're all dead? No way, was it that simple? What skill is this? The power is too great. The damage caused by corpse explosion was calculated based on the corpse's life force. The stronger the corpse's life force, the more powerful the explosion. So for Lin Moyu, as long as he could create the first corpse, enemies of the same type were doomed. Everyone was stunned. They trembled with excitement. We're saved! We're saved! This brother is too strong. Necromancer. This career is too powerful. I dare say this brother will become a god-level talent in the future. Wang Zihao muttered, "How can it be so powerful? How is it possible to be so powerful? His career is too strong. Why didn't I awaken this career? It's unfair." No one paid attention to his words. Everyone was still in shock, unable to come to their senses for a moment. This scene was too fantastical, hard to believe. What happened exceeded everyone's understanding. Not only did the examinees not believe it, even the Abyss Demon didn't believe it. The Abyss Demon's voice sounded again. "Impossible! This is impossible! You've angered this Demon King. This Demon King will kill you, will eat your flesh." With a scream, the blood-red moonlight suddenly burst into brilliant radiance. Another batch of monsters appeared from all directions. This time, the monsters were spread out, charging towards the various career professionals as soon as they appeared. Their targets were the career professionals. The career professionals immediately panicked and began to flee. Fortunately, the conquest space was large enough, giving them plenty of room to maneuver. Now, what will you do? You'll all die. All of you. The Abyss Demon's voice was much weaker than before. The Abyss power that could enter the conquest space was limited. Using some meant less remained. Lin Moyu looked up at the red moon. There was a black shadow on the red moon. So that's where you are. He calculated the distance, about 200 meters. Lin Moyu gave a mental command. Several skeletons suddenly lifted a feline beastman corpse and threw it forcefully towards the red moon. Then a skeleton hugged Lin Moyu and another skeleton warrior threw them up. The feline beastman warrior's corpse flew towards the red moon like an arrow, with Lin Moyu close behind. You, what are you doing? You madman! The abyss demon suddenly panicked, its voice starting to tremble. Lin Moyu didn't speak, just stared coldly, his eyes filled with killing intent. As the feline beastman corpse approached the black shadow on the red moon, Lin Moyu detonated it. With a thunderous boom, the abyss demon let out a miserable scream. The black shadow was hit by the explosion but didn't die. This king will kill you! Kill you! The voice became extremely weak, screaming frantically. Still not dead. Lin Moyu's palm glowed again. Soul fire. Ignoring defense directly damaging the soul, a flame appeared above the black shadow and it screamed again. What skill is this? How can it burn the soul? What career are you? Such a career cannot possibly exist. It's impossible. Lin Moyu didn't say a word. As he fell, he timely added another soul fire. Although the black shadow was still screaming, it had become extremely weak. Chapter 55. Skill Upgrade. This king will remember you. Outside the trial tower's main body in Summer Capital City, Mang Anwen, the master of the trial tower, was working hard to repair the rules of the conquest space. Several people looked at the trial tower with worried expressions. The longer it took, the more danger the examinees inside the conquest space were in. Suddenly, Mang Anwen let out a soft exclamation. Bai Yuan asked solemnly, "What's wrong?" Mang Anwen said, "The interference from the abyss power has greatly weakened." Bai Yuan's face instantly turned very ugly. Could all the examinees inside be dead? Mang Anwen carefully sensed for a moment. No, I can feel many life auras inside. They're human auras. The abyss demon's consciousness aura has become very weak. It's injured. The abyss demon's consciousness entered the conquest space using abyss power to disrupt the conquest space's rules. This indirectly sealed off the conquest space. In that situation, who could hurt it? Those level 15, 16 examinees? Bai Yuan didn't believe it at all. In his imagination, the conquest space was very large. If the examinees could use it well, they might be able to hold out for an hour until rescue arrives. But to counterattack and kill the enemy was impossible. Even if it was just a consciousness, it was still impossible. In the conquest space, large numbers of feline beastmen abandoned their targets and began charging towards Lin Moyu. The black shadow on the blood moon roared, "I will kill you. I will eat your flesh and drink your blood." It now saw Lin Moyu as a thorn in its side. It even forgot its mission today, losing rationality, only wanting to kill Lin Moyu. Large numbers of abyss-contaminated feline beastmen charged towards Lin Moyu. The skeleton warriors quickly formed battle lines to block them. The skeleton warriors' attributes were extremely high, with all 4 attributes at 5,000, far exceeding those of the same level. Even contaminated by abyss power and reaching enhanced elite monster level, they were still far inferior to the skeleton warriors. Moreover, Lin Moyu commanded the skeleton warriors to focus attacks. Over a dozen skeleton warriors surrounded and killed one target at a time. In just a few seconds, more feline beastmen warriors were killed. Boom! The explosions started again. Corpse explosion was truly a godly skill, and Lin Moyu used it again and again. Suddenly, Lin Moyu noticed a change in the corpse explosion skill. Corpse explosion, level 2. Detonate corpse dealing 15% of the corpse's life value as damage to enemies within 2 meters. Corpse explosion, which hadn't changed since he acquired it, had now upgraded. The range increased from 1 meter to 2 meters, and damage had increased from 10% to 15% of the corpse's life value. The change seems small, but combined with the full enhancement talent, 40-meter range, 300% of the corpse's life value has damage. With just one level increase, the skill had actually undergone a massive change. It seems repeatedly using skills and becoming proficient can increase skill levels. Apart from innate talent skills from career transition, do skills obtained later through skill scrolls also need to be upgraded this way? This is very similar to life skills and support skills. With continuous explosions and increased range, corpse explosion became even more powerful, even more useful. In the blink of an eye, there were no more standing feline beastmen around Lin Mo Yu. Even the black shadow on the blood moon fell silent. Lin Mo Yu's lips curved into a smile. He was glowing. His whole body was enveloped in a faint white light. He had leveled up. Lin Mo Yu's level up attracted many people's attention. They realized that killing these abyss-contaminated monsters gave experience. He's actually using these monsters to level up. That means he can solo nightmare difficulty dungeons. This guy's too amazing. Lin Mo Yu, which province's genius is he? Luckily, we have him, or we'd be dead for sure. Many people spoke in low voices with admiration in their eyes as they looked at Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu looked up. The blood moon and black shadow were still there. Looks like it can't leave. With the thought, this time 5 feline beastmen corpses were thrown up. Then a skeleton warrior hugged Lin Mo Yu and leaped up again. The black shadow in the blood moon seemed to realize its doom was approaching. Surprisingly, it didn't shout or scream, but let out a cold laugh instead. Your name is Lin Mo Yu. This king will remember you. When you come to the abyss, this king will give you a warm welcome. Lin Mo Yu smiled faintly without speaking. The corpses flew towards the blood moon. Corpse explosion. With a violent explosion, the black shadow let out a final scream before being destroyed. The blood moon shattered like glass and dissipated in the air. The conquest space returned to normal. Outside the trial tower, Meng Anwen showed surprise again. The abyss consciousness has been eliminated. The conquest space has returned to normal. The children are safe and sound, no casualties. Bai Yuan also showed an expression of disbelief. Then development of events was completely different from what he had imagined. At his level, there were few things that could surprise him anymore. Can you review what happened? Bai Yuan wanted to know exactly what happened in the conquest space. Meng Anwen answered, yes, we can. Bai Yuan said solemnly, there's no rush. First, send the children back just in case. All right. In the conquest space, as the blood moon dissipated, the ground was returning to normal. Xiao Sui asked softly, Lin Dummy, is it over? She was still shaken, but her face slightly pale. What just happened was too frightening. If not for Lin Mo Yu, she probably would have died. Lin Mo Yu nodded. It's over. Though not words of comfort, this answer was enough to reassure Xiao Sui. In the conquest space, the examinees were still in shock. Earlier, when the feline beastmen were chasing them, they had fled in panic, unable to fight back at all. Luckily, there was Lin Mo Yu. The white god's voice sounded again. Examinees, the abyss power has disappeared, and the conquest space has returned to normal. You will be sent back to your original exam venues, and the exam results will be announced shortly. Chapter 56. No Suspense. Provincial Top Scholar. Lin Mo Yu appeared at the entrance of the trial tower. Xiao Sui, Zhuo Mei, Wang Zihao, and Feng Zhu also appeared. The trial tower's entrance was already closed. The combat class exam has ended. All examinees please rest in place and wait for the final score evaluation. The examiner's voice echoed throughout the venue. No one left. The final results would be announced quickly after the exam ended, as was the case every year. The examinees awaited eagerly. For combat class professionals, the result consisted of 2 parts. 1. Points. 2. Evaluation. Some top higher educational institutions had requirements not only for career level and points, but also for evaluation. The higher ranked the institution, the higher the requirements. For example, Summer Capital University's requirements for combat classes were basically level 15 or above, over 10,000 points, and at least an excellent evaluation. Other institutions ranked in the top 20 might be slightly more lenient on level and points, but still required an excellent evaluation. For top institutions, the evaluation was very important. If aiming for ordinary higher education institutions, the evaluation wasn't as crucial. Meeting the points requirement was sufficient. For examinees who didn't enter the conquest space, evaluations were given by provincial examiners. For those who entered the conquest space, evaluations were given by the Divine Summer Empire's upper echelon. For the Divine Summer Empire, examinees who could enter the conquest space were all geniuses requiring further attention. In Summer Capital City, Meng Enwin, Bai Yuan, and other top experts of the Divine Summer Empire were reviewing what happened in the conquest space. They observed all the performances of Lin Mo Yu and other examinees from the moment they entered the conquest space. This year was special. Due to the Abyss Power invasion, the conquest space experienced a major incident. They paid extra attention to this. In the review, Lin Mo Yu entered their vision. So it was he who turned the tide. Impressive. Necromancer. I've heard of this career before. It's a brand new career that appeared in Jiangning Province, West City, First High School. That's right, I originally planned to pay a special attention to him in this exam. Didn't expect him to be so strong. Not only is his career powerful, he must have awakened a talent, and a very powerful one at that. His career has completely surpassed others of the same level. This child's mentality is excellent. Calm, decisive in killing, strong career. This child already has the conditions to become a top expert. Praise after praise fell on Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu's performance was too eye-catching. When they were worried about casualties, it was Lin Mo Yu alone who turned the tide. He single-handedly destroyed the Abyss's plan. Compared to Lin Mo Yu, others paled in comparison. There were hardly any highlights to be found. Only a dozen or so people could be said to have shown commendable courage. It's a bit difficult to give evaluations this year. What's difficult about it? Those who ran away are all cowards. Such people would only be deserters on the battlefield in the future. Can't be relied upon. We can't say that. After all, they're only teenagers. Lin Mo Yu is definitely excellent. Let's discuss the others together. The top experts were deciding the futures of the examinees. In previous years, all these examinees would be considered outstanding talents. The top scholars of each province were rare geniuses. But this year, due to Lin Mo Yu's existence, the performance of these people seemed somewhat inadequate. Comparisons are odious. Lin Mo Yu was like a dazzling star, completely overshadowing the existence of others. After eager anticipation, the final results were finally announced. A huge light screen flickered in the air. Number 1, Lin Mo Yu. Points, 34,605. Evaluation, excellent. Lin Mo Yu's name was clearly ranked first. Wow, the whole venue was in an uproar. Principal Lu jumped up. His old face was so excited he almost had a brain hemorrhage. First place! Top scholar! Top scholar! Principal Lu's fingers trembled with excitement. His student had won the provincial top scholar title of Jiangning province. For Principal Lu, this was a great honor. Old Lu, congratulations. Old Lu has really made it big this time. A provincial top scholar is enough to brag about for 10 years. Not just 10, even 20 years is enough. First there was Zhu Qiangxing, then Lin Mohan last year, and now a provincial top scholar this year. West Sea First High has truly made a name for itself now. Xiao Sui smiled and congratulated Lin Mo Yu. Lin Dummy, you really got the provincial top scholar. At this moment, Xiao Sui's eyes showed no resentment, and for once she didn't try to compete with Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu smiled slightly. Thank you. When the 5th round of tests began, Lin Mo Yu already knew the provincial top scholar title would be his. The result was indeed as expected. When the results were announced, he still felt a little excited in his heart. Xiao Sui looked at Lin Mo Yu in surprise. You can actually smile? You look quite good when you smile. Why don't you ever smile usually? She looked as if he had discovered a new continent. The second place result also came out. Number 2, Xiao Sui. Points, 7,600. Evaluation, excellent. With Lin Mo Yu in first place, Xiao Sui's results didn't cause much of a stir. Xiao Sui was also evaluated as excellent. Principal Lu got excited again. The principals around him all cast envious glances. Not only was the top scholar Principal Lu's student, but the second place was also his. This was too enviable and jealousy-inducing. Number 3, Feng Shu. Points, 6,700. Evaluation, excellent. Number 4, Zhuo Mei. Points, 6,325. Evaluation, excellent. Number 5, Wang Zihao. Points, 6,300. Evaluation, poor. Wang Zihao's face changed drastically. His evaluation was actually poor. With this evaluation, he had no chance of entering Summer Capital University. Not just Summer Capital University, even the top 20 higher education institutions in the Divine Summer Empire wouldn't want him. Why? On what grounds did you give me poor? This is unfair. You're being unfair. Wang Zihao finally couldn't hold back and shouted angrily. Suddenly, a beam of light fell on Wang Zihao and he instantly disappeared. Wang Zihao violated exam rules. Expelled. Chapter 57. Imperial Top Scholar, White God Visits. A poor evaluation in the trial cut off Wang Zihao's chances of entering a top higher education institution. Now being expelled, not even institutions ranked in the top 100 would accept him, let alone top ones. Even with family connections or the dynasty guild's influence, they couldn't contend with higher education institutions. Wang Zihao's future was predictable. The best outcome would be attending an ordinary higher education institution. Rankings were announced one by one. Apart from Lin Mo Yu and Xiao Sui, West Sea High City First High School's overall results were decent. Gao Yang ranked 61st, considered average. Others were slightly worse, but could still enter institutions. After results were announced, the examiner's voice sounded again. For combat careers, this year's Jiangning province top scholar is Lin Mo Yu. The examiner solemnly announced Lin Mo Yu as the provincial top scholar, causing another commotion. Thunderous applause followed. Everyone congratulated Lin Mo Yu. Becoming a provincial top scholar was no easy feat. Moreover, Lin Moyu's score crushed others to take first place. Of the 5 who entered the conquest space, the other 4's scores combined didn't match his alone. The advantage was too obvious. Amidst the applause, the examiner spoke again. The Empire has issued an order. Lin Moyu is this year's national top scholar for the big exam. Wow. Principal Lu jumped up again, flames bursting from his head. He was too excited to the point of his head catching fire. National top scholar. Moyu is the national top scholar. Is this real? Did I hear wrong? For a moment, he couldn't speak clearly, not believing his own ears. Old Lu, are you all right? Don't get too excited. Take care of your health. It's true. Lin Moyu really is the national top scholar. You didn't hear wrong. Now you can brag for a lifetime. Your first high can change its name to Top Scholar High School now. Producing a national top scholar, you really struck gold. They were both envious and jealous. The flames on Principal Lu's head wouldn't extinguish, like his excited, surging emotions. Outside the trial tower, applause exploded like thunder. A national top scholar. Our Jiangning province produced a national top scholar. Heavens, how many years has it been since our Jiangning province had a national top scholar? Lin Moyu is too amazing, actually becoming the national top scholar. Lin Moyu remained calm and composed. When he got provincial top scholar, he had realized national top scholar might fall to him too. Sure enough, Xiao Sui asked curiously, "You've become the national top scholar. Aren't you happy?" "I am happy," Lin Moyu said calmly. Xiao Sui pouted. You don't even know to smile when you're happy." Lin Moyu remained calm. I smiled, in my heart. "A dummy is still a dummy," Xiao Sui snorted. "But still, congratulations, top scholar Lin." Zhuo Mei and Feng Zhu came together. "Lin Moyu, congratulations." Zhuo Mei was petite, her voice slightly cold. Her demeanor fit her career very well. Feng Zhu extended his hand. "Thank you this time. If not for you, we'd have been in big trouble." Zhuo Mei also thanked him. Lin Moyu shook his hand. It was the right thing to do. Feng Zhu asked, "You're aiming for Summer Capital University, right?" Lin Moyu nodded. "Great. See you at Summer Capital University then. I'll treat you to a meal when we get there." Lin Moyu responded faintly. Lin Moyu was too cold, even colder than Zhuo Mei. The atmosphere suddenly became awkward. Xiao Sui quickly smiled and said, "This guy doesn't like talking. I've been his classmate for 3 years, and all our conversations combined don't even exceed 10 sentences. Lin Moyu shook his head. 16 sentences. Feng Shu and Zhuo Mei couldn't help laughing. This Lin Moyu guy seemed quite interesting, apart from not liking to talk. The big exam ended, and they teleported back to school. Principal Lu didn't return with them. The support class exam was still ongoing. He had to stay with them. Lin Moyu returned home to rest well. He couldn't register tomorrow. His goal was Summer Capital University. As the national top scholar, he would certainly get in. Even if he couldn't get in, no one else could hope to. He silently summoned 4 skeleton warriors, then recalled them to his summoning space. There were now 104 skeleton warriors in his summoning space. Earlier in the conquest space, the skeleton warriors were injured to varying degrees, fighting the feline beastman warriors. In the summoning space, their injuries recovered rapidly. Knock, knock, knock. The knocking pulled Lin Moyu out of his meditation state. The flames on Principal Lu's head had finally extinguished. But the excitement on his face hadn't faded. This over 60-year-old man had never been as excited as today. Why have you come? It was already late at night. In the quiet of night, Principal Lu's sudden visit must mean something. Not just Principal Lu came, but also someone Lin Moyu didn't recognize. When Lin Moyu saw this person, his whole body's hair stood on end. The newcomer carried a terrifying aura, making it difficult for him to breathe. It seemed he might suffocate at any moment. Lin Moyu didn't sit idly by. Skeleton warriors instantly appeared in front of him, protecting him. Very good reaction. Lin Moyu couldn't see the other's face clearly, but he recognized the voice. His tense spirit immediately relaxed. Lin Moyu respectfully bowed to the visitor. Greetings, Lord White God. Bai Yuan retracted his aura, revealing himself from the darkness. How did you know it was me? Lin Moyu also recalled his skeleton warriors. I recognized your voice. Bai Yuan laughed, satisfied with Lin Moyu's answer. He had seen Lin Moyu in the Conquest Space review. Now face to face, Bai Yuan was even more satisfied with him. Lin Moyu was calm and composed. His instinctive reaction all earned full marks. Very good, very good. I've come this time to discuss Summer Capital University matters with you. Chapter 58. Top Scholar Rewards, Invitation to Participate in Trial. Unexpectedly, the White God came in person. Lin Moyu poured water for the two visitors. Plain boiled water, Principal Lu explained. Please don't mind, Lord. Moyu's sister went to Summer Capital University last year. He lives alone otherwise. Bai Yuan's gaze swept through the room. The furnishings were very simple. Many places were a bit worn. One could imagine the living environment was not affluent, even poor. For such a family to produce a genius like Lin Moyu was quite remarkable. The White God smiled. Lin Moyu's sister is also at Summer Capital University? Principal Lu immediately replied, Lin Mohan. She entered Summer Capital University last year. Bai Yuan's status was too high to know Lin Mohan. But today he made a mental note about Lin Mohan to learn more about her if there's a chance. For both siblings to enter Summer Capital University is truly remarkable. Bai Yuan praised, looking at Lin Moyu. On the way here, he had heard Principal Lu introduce Lin Moyu, knowing Lin Moyu spoke little. Quiet and reserved. Now seeing it firsthand, it was indeed so. He thought perhaps it was this personality that gave him calmness beyond his peers. Can you summon your creatures for me to see? Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't and didn't dare refuse Bai Yuan's request. Skeleton warriors silently appeared in the room. Bai Yuan looked and said curiously, 250 in all 4 attributes. Seems quite ordinary. How did you manage in the conquest space? At Bai Yuan's level, he no longer needed to deliberately use detection. Many skills had been integrated into his very being. Hearing Bai Yuan's words, Lin Moyu suddenly understood something. His talent boost couldn't be seen by others. Others only saw the Skeleton Warrior's base attributes. But the Skeleton Warrior's final effectiveness came from the attributes after his talent boost. Bai Yuan continued asking, what talent did you awaken? Principal Lu looked surprised. Moyu, you really awakened a talent? Lin Moyu said softly, my talent is enhancement, enhancing all skills. Bai Yuan showed an as expected expression. Indeed, it was evident from your performance in the conquest space. Bai Yuan didn't pursue the topic further. Instead, he changed the subject. I have 2 matters for my visit. First is to give you rewards. Originally, these rewards were to be given after you came to the university, but since I'm here, I'll bring them along. Second is to take you to the university. There will be a trial the day after tomorrow. I hope you can participate. Bai Yuan stated his purpose directly. Lin Mo Yu asked, "What kind of trial is it?" Bai Yuan said, "It's an internal trial for our summer capital university. Participants are all internal students of our university. Specific information can only be told after you agree to participate." Lin Mo Yu sensed something unusual. First, saying he hoped Lin Mo Yu could participate meant this trial wasn't mandatory. The decision to participate was up to him. Second was about the trial participants. The participants were internal members of Summer Capital University. He knew little about Summer Capital University, but understanding the meaning of internal members. Plus, the secrecy about the trial content indicated it was not ordinary. Lin Mo Yu pondered the meaning of the White God's words. Caution was a state that must be maintained at all times. For anything, always be cautious and analyze calmly. Bai Yuan showed a satisfied smile. "You're very cautious. That's very good. I can't reveal too much about the trial content, but I can tell you this opportunity is rare. Originally, you weren't qualified to participate. I personally gave you this chance." After hearing the White God's words, Lin Mo Yu immediately decided, "I'll participate." With Bai Yuan saying so, if he didn't participate, it would be disrespectful to Bai Yuan. Lin Mo Yu wasn't a fool. He wouldn't do something to offend people like that. In that case, let me give you the reward first. As the national top scholar, you have quite a few rewards. A flash of light appeared in Bai Yuan's hand, revealing several items. Lin Mo Yu narrowed. He recognized one item, a skill scroll. The first reward is your 100,000 points. This is the point reward for National Top Scholar, separate from the points you earned in the big exam. Lin Mo Yu earned 34,605 points in the big exam, plus an extra 100,000 points for the National Top Scholar. This gave Lin Mo Yu over 130,000 points directly. This was quite a lot of points. Many senior students at Summer Capital University might not have as much. Bai Yuan handed a card to Lin Mo Yu. "All your points are in here. You've probably heard that points are more useful than gold coins at Summer Capital University. It's indeed true. You'll understand the specifics when you get to Summer Capital University. The second reward is also for your National Top Scholar title. 1 junior skill scroll and 1 intermediate skill scroll. The third reward is an extra based on your performance in the conquest space. 1 entry qualification for the Divine Summer Tower. Regarding specific information about the Divine Summer Tower, you'll naturally know when you get to Summer Capital University, so I won't say more. But I can tell you the entry qualification for Summer Divine Tower is very precious, especially the first time. Make full preparations before going." With Bai Yuan emphasizing this, it must be very important. "I understand." Chapter 59. Arriving at Summer Capital University, a different atmosphere. Lin Mo Yu packed up simply. A talisman flew out, transforming into a teleportation array. Lin Mo Yu and Bai Yuan stepped into the array, departing in a brilliant light. As the last bit of light disappeared, the small house was once again enveloped in darkness. Principal Lu sighed, silently leaving and closing the door. The late-night streets were very quiet. No one could know that this seemingly dilapidated small house had produced 2 Summer Capital University students in 2 consecutive years. One of them was even the National Top Scholar. Principal Lu's eyes held hope as he looked towards the direction of the capital. "Good luck, child." His words were full of kindness and hope. Lin Moyu felt like he had been teleporting for a long time, unlike the morning's teleportation stone, which arrived in an instant. The Divine Summer Empire's territory was vast, one of the few major powers in the human realm. Summer Capital University was thousands of kilometers away from West Sea City. Even teleportation took some time. Fragments of light flashed before his eyes. Countless strange scenes could be seen. All fragments, bizarre and colorful. Lin Moyu felt top-heavy, as if time and space were chaotic at this moment. Very uncomfortable. But he didn't show any reaction, only his face turned slightly pale. After about 10 seconds, his feet touched the ground again. All discomfort vanished instantly. Very good endurance by Yuan's evaluation of Lin Moyu improved further in his mind. The late night capital was qualitatively different from West Sea City. As the capital of the Divine Summer Empire, even late at night, it was still brightly lit. Moonlight became secondary. Summer Capital University, a huge gate, tens of meters high and over 100 meters wide, came into view. Magnificent, exquisite, solid, powerful. This was Lin Moyu's first impression. In an instant, he felt his own insignificance. Just one gate had such an imposing presence, shocking him. Lin Moyu even sensed danger from it. Deadly danger. Bai Yuan said, "This gate is both an entrance and a weapon. Even top experts would pay a price trying to break in." He patted Lin Moyu's shoulder. "Let's go." As they approached, Lin Moyu felt an aura fall on him. It was somewhat like detection, but not quite the same. His identity was verified and the gate opened slightly. Summer Capital University at night wasn't as quiet as imagined. Walking through the university, Lin Moyu could feel waves of energy fluctuations. The energy fluctuations came from various locations in the university. That's students practicing skills, Bai Yuan explained casually. Though he seemed stern, he showed great patience towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu asked, "Do all skills need practice?" Bai Yuan explained, "Except for innate career skills and some special skills, most skills need to be improved through practice." This answer matched Lin Moyu's own guess. Skills needed constant practice and use to become powerful. Lin Moyu asked a second question. "Is just using them enough?" Bai Yuan smiled. "Hard to say. Every skill is different. Some skills won't improve just by practice. You'll understand this knowledge after you formally enroll. The teachers will teach in detail." Skill knowledge was a complete systematic subject, but something that could be explained in a few words. Not something that could be explained in a few words. Lin Moyu understood this point. Bai Yuan had already explained clearly, so he didn't ask further. The energy fluctuations never stopped. Wave after wave, continuously. Light occasionally illuminated the night sky. They're all working hard, Lin Moyu thought to himself. Just this first impression left a deep impact on Lin Moyu about Summer Capital University. The students here were all very diligent, practicing skills late into the night. Thinking of his own skills, they didn't seem very convenient to practice. Summer Capital University was unexpectedly large. They walked for a long time before reaching their destination. "This is the residential area. You'll stay here tonight. Someone will explain the specific rules to you. Remember one thing. In Summer Capital University, most things can be traded, but it must be based on mutual agreement. No forced buying or selling." Someone was already waiting and quickly ran over upon seeing Bai Yuan. "Greetings, Lord White God." The person bowed respectfully to Bai Yuan. The white god held an extremely high status in the Divine Summer Empire, respected by countless people. Though Lin Moyu didn't say much, he also respected Bai Yuan in his heart. Bai Yuan nodded. I'll leave him to you. I'm leaving now. Rest well. Someone will come for you tomorrow. Bai Yuan was very busy. He couldn't handle everything personally. Coming to pick up Lin Moyu himself was already a great honor. How many in the entire Divine Summer Empire could enjoy such treatment? Lin Moyu's expression remained calm, his tone equally flat. All right. Just this simple word startled the person beside them. Who would dare speak so coldly to Bai Yuan? He had never seen such a thing. Unexpectedly, Bai Yuan just nodded, then turned and left, disappearing into the darkness. Lin Moyu was brought by Bai Yuan, so the person didn't dare neglect him. He asked politely, You're Lin Moyu, right? Lin Moyu nodded. Yes. His tone still flat. The person felt uncomfortable, thinking Lin Moyu was too cold, but he didn't dare say much. Where would you like to stay? We have several options here. Summer Capital University was not only large in campus size, but the residential area was also vast. There were multiple choices: 4-person, 2-person, single dorm, detached villas, villas with training grounds. Different accommodations had vastly different prices. Chapter 60. Points should be spent wisely. Lin Moyu truly understood why points were more useful than gold coins. 4-person dorms were the cheapest at 500 points per month. 2-person dorms cost 1,000 points per month. Single dorms cost 2,000 points per month. As for detached houses, they required tens of thousands of points monthly. If you didn't have points, you could pay in gold coins. But that would add 2 more zeros to the price. 4-person dorm cost 50,000 gold coins per month, while a single dorm cost 200,000 gold coins. This was indeed not cheap. Lin Moyu only had a few hundred gold coins on him. Each point could be exchanged for 100 gold coins. But gold coins couldn't be exchanged for points. If caught doing so, there would be a severe punishment. Bai Yuan had said most things could be traded in Summer Capital University. Exchanging gold coins for points was one of the few exceptions. Additionally, many resources could only be purchased with points. This made points the most important hard currency in the university. Anywhere gold coins could be used, points definitely wouldn't be used. Points were to be saved whenever possible. Through the detailed explanation, Lin Moyu learned a lot. The person was called Jiang Tao, a student who entered Summer Capital University 2 years ago. He now worked as an administrator in the residential area, managing some minor affairs while earning some points. From his words, it was clear that points were not easy to earn. Perhaps due to Bai Yuan's influence, Jiang Tao was especially polite to Lin Moyu. Lin, I know you just finished the big exam and should have quite a few points, but I still advise you to save points when possible. There will be many places to use points later. Lin Moyu roughly understood he should spend frugally, but he had no gold coins and didn't want to live with others. I want a single dorm. Jiang Tao looked at Lin Moyu. Are you sure? Lin Moyu nodded. Jiang Tao sighed. The rich really are willful. Not knowing to save now, you'll regret it when you realize how hard it is to earn points. He sighed as if speaking from experience. He led Lin Moyu into the residential area to Building 8 directly on the second floor. Building 8 is all single dorms. On the second floor, except for 206, 208, and 209, which are occupied, the rest are available. Take your pick. Lin Moyu looked down the row and pointed at the nearest one. This one. Room 201. Give me your ID card. I'll register it. ID cards could only be used by the owner. Even if lost, others couldn't use them. Jiang Tao took out a device, swiped the ID card, and had Lin Moyu confirm it with his fingerprint. With a beep, points were deducted. Jiang Tao's eyes widened as he let out a strange cry. How do you have so many points? The device displayed Lin Moyu's point balance. After deducting 1,000 points, 133,605 points remained. Over 130,000 points shocked Jiang Tao. Lin Moyu said, rewards given. Jiang Tao looked at Lin Moyu like he was seeing a god of wealth. No wonder you won a single dorm. You have so many points. Since entering the university, I've only earned less than 10,000 points total. Not even a fraction of yours. You're really rich. Alright, from now on, room 201 in building 8 is your dorm. No one can enter without your permission. Until you move out, no one else can rent this room. Rest well. Let me know if you need anything. Lin Moyu nodded and then suddenly asked, Senior, have you heard of Lin Mohan? Jiang Tao thought for a moment, then shook his head. Never heard of her. Your name is Lin Moyu. Is Lin Mohan your relative? There are too many people in Summer Capital University. It's normal not to have heard of someone. You can ask at the Academic Affairs Office tomorrow. Jiang Tao rattled off a lot more than suddenly said before leaving. Oh, right. Remember to buy a communication device tomorrow, otherwise it'll be very inconvenient. Closing the dorm door, it finally became quiet. The single dorm wasn't large, simply furnished but clean. Lin Moyu sat on the bed and began meditating to recover his spirit power. Early the next morning, someone knocked on the dorm door. Lin Moyu opened the door, surprise and delight in his eyes. Ning Yi, unseen for days, stood prettily at the door. What's wrong? Don't you recognize me? Lin Moyu smiled slightly. I do. Ning Yi giggled. Come on, I'll take you for breakfast, then show you around Summer Capital University. There was a university cafeteria next to the residential area. Many people were having breakfast early in the morning. Ning Yi quickly grabbed a pile of food. Quite a lot. Ning Yi's appetite was as big as ever. When it was time to pay, Lin Moyu took out his ID card. I'll pay. Ning Yi giggled and didn't stop him. With a beep, 5 points were deducted. Ning Yi exclaimed in surprise. You're actually using points to pay? Can you use gold? You can use gold coins here. Anywhere you can use gold coins, you definitely shouldn't use points. Lin Moyu said softly, I don't have gold coins. Ning Yi slapped her forehead. You should have said if you don't have gold coins. This young lady has plenty of gold coins. Don't waste points. They're so hard to earn. Lin Moyu smiled. It's fine. Ning Yi said with relief. It's okay. It's only 5 points. Anyway, remember, anywhere you can use gold coins in the future, never use points. Points should be spent wisely. Lin Moyu humbly accepted the advice. He thought about going to the exchange later to sell the materials and weapons he had recently obtained. At least he could exchange them for gold coins. Thinking of this, a gem appeared in Lin Moyu's palm. Chapter 61. Blank Records. Where did Sister go? The Goblin King's crystal core was like a perfect ruby, dazzling and alluring. Lin Moyu handed it to Ning Yi. For you. Wow, it's so beautiful. Ning Yi immediately saw this crystal core was special. Holding it brought waves of warmth, dispelling the cold. She cast detection. Is this the Goblin King's crystal core? Ning Yi's eyes shone with surprise and delight. Lin Moyu nodded. Ning Yi cradled the ruby like a crystal core, examining it from all angles, her eyes full of admiration. Do you know its value? Lin Moyu shook his head, not very sure. He first learned of it at the exchange, where a quest valued it at 100,000 gold coins. Later, Wang Yi told him it was worth at least 500,000 gold coins, but Lin Moyu felt it might be worth even more. Otherwise, the Dynasty Guild's young master wouldn't have gone to such lengths. Though it came from a low-level dungeon, the nightmare difficulty of a low-level dungeon wasn't something just anyone could enter. Ning Yi was in a good mood and said carefully, "This is the core of an item for the Goblin King's ring, a boss accessory worth tens of millions. If traded, it should be worth around 10 million. 10 million. Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback, not expecting it to be so valuable. Wang Yi clearly didn't know how much either, saying it was worth at least 500,000, off by 2 zeros. The Dynasty Guild was even more dishonest, wanting to acquire it for just 100,000, clearly trying to deceive those who didn't know better. 10 million was indeed very expensive for ordinary people, but for Ning Yi it shouldn't be much. After all, she could easily give away an intermediate skill scroll also worth millions. Ning Yi really liked the Goblin King's crystal core and accepted it without hesitation. "Thanks." Lin Moyu smiled slightly. It was good she accepted it. After eating, Ning Yi showed Lin Moyu around Summer Capital University. There was an Imperial Exchange and a University Exchange within Summer Capital University. Gold coins could be used for transactions at the Imperial Exchange. The University Exchange was Summer Capital University's own, where only points could be used for transactions. Some items couldn't be purchased at the Imperial Exchange. Besides exchanges, Summer Capital University also had dozens of skill training grounds distributed throughout. Using the skill training grounds wasn't free. It cost points. The Summer Capital University Library, said to rival the Imperial Library, contained a vast collection of books and materials. While some books could be viewed for free, accessing more advanced materials also required points. In short, without points, one could barely move in the university, only ensuring they wouldn't starve. Through Ning Yi's introduction, Lin Moyu began to familiarize himself with the university. At the Academic Affairs Office, Lin Moyu completed his final enrollment procedures. Most of his paperwork had already been handled by Bai Yuan. Also due to Bai Yuan's influence, the staff at the Academic Affairs Office were very polite to Lin Moyu. At the office, Lin Moyu inquired about Lin Mohan's information. After checking, there was indeed an enrollment record for Lin Mohan, but now all information about her was completely blank. Leaving the office, Lin Moyu's eyes showed obvious worry. Ning Yi comforted him. "Lin Mohan is your family, right?" "My sister," Lin Moyu said softly. He didn't understand why Lin Mohan's records were blank. The enrollment record showed Lin Mohan had indeed entered Summer Capital University. Ning Yi said, "Actually, blank records are normal." Lin Moyu looked over, hoping to get an answer from Ning Yi. "She may be on a special mission from the university. Some missions require secrecy during which records can't be accessed. Or she may have left the university, not dropping out, but joining one of the university's affiliated academies. The university has several affiliated academies. They seem to belong to the university, but are relatively independent. The most famous is the Creation God Academy. There's also the Divine Dragon Academy, Flying Heaven Academy, and others. There are over a dozen such academies. If she joined one, her records would also be blank. So don't worry, your sister may have just joined one of those academies." Hearing Ning Yi's explanation, Lin Moyu felt somewhat relieved. He had arrived at Summer Capital University and thought he couldn't find Lin Mohan immediately. Now that he was there, he would surely find her eventually. He remembered Lin Mohan's last contact was 3 months ago. There had been no news of her in these 3 months. Perhaps she really was on some mission. All right. Don't worry, everything will be fine." Ning Yi's smile warmly comforted Lin Moyu. Her smile was like sunshine, affecting Lin Moyu too. Thank you. Ning Yi giggled. No need to thank me. Come on, let's get to business. Besides showing you around the university today, I'm here on a mission. In half a day, they had only covered the university's public areas. The university was very large, with public areas occupying less than a tenth. There were many academies within the university that outsiders couldn't enter. Hidden Dragon Academy. There were quite a few people inside, seemingly discussing something. Ning Yi brought Lin Mo Yu in. Yi's back. A tall woman saw Ning Yi and immediately came over. Ning Yi giggled. Sister Tao, I've brought him. The woman looked at Lin Mo Yu. Is this the one Lord White God mentioned? It's him. Ning Yi naturally pulled Sister Tao over and introduced. Lin Mo Yu, this is this year's top scholar. Sister Tao, our team captain. Sister Tao introduced herself. Hello, I'm Jiang Tao Tao, level 23, Elf Knight. Lin Mo Yu said softly. Lin Mo Yu, level 17, Necromancer. Chapter 62. Dogs bite people. People can't bite dogs. Jiang Tao Tao's expression didn't change, but the others showed some surprise. Only level 17? You must be joking. Even if we need to bring someone, we can't just pick up any random person. A man holding a staff walked into the courtyard, his voice carrying arrogance and insolence. Ning Yi looked displeased. Ling Zhen, watch what you say. Mo Yu is the national top scholar. Ling Zhen sneered. National top scholar? Compared to us, that's nothing. We've seen national top scholars before. They're all trash. He was extremely arrogant, not taking Lin Mo Yu or the national top scholar title seriously at all. The others in the courtyard also showed proud expressions, as if what Ling Zhen said was fact. The national top scholar really wasn't valued by them. Ling Zhen, your words stink like farts, Ning Yi retorted directly. Ling Zhen snorted coldly, ignoring Ning Yi. He arrogantly raised his head. Your name is Lin Mo Yu, right? I know Lord White God introduced you. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you have connections with Lord White God. In our Hidden Dragon team, we value strength. It's fine to bring you along for this trial, but please keep quiet and don't make a sound. Better not drag us down, or I'll be the first to deal with you. Lin Mo Yu was speechless, feeling this guy's arrogance was over the top. He had seen arrogant people before. Xiao Sui was arrogant enough as the young miss of the Jia family. But not like this guy. Brain dead? Lin Mo Yu suddenly spoke. Ling Zhen's face changed. What did you say? His staff immediately burst into red flames, releasing powerful energy waves. Ning Yi stepped in front of Lin Mo Yu. Ling Zhen, you dare? Jiang Tao Tao also came over to block Ling Zhen. Ling Zhen, stop! Seeing Jiang Tao Tao, Ling Zhen gradually retracted his aura, the flames on his staff extinguishing. Sister Tao, I'll give you face. He glared fiercely at Lin Mo Yu before walking aside without another word. But his resentment toward the Lin Mo Yu was obvious. Jiang Tao Tao turned to Lin Mo Yu. We leave at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Gather here. I can tell you the specific trial details tomorrow. Lin Mo Yu nodded. Understood. Let's go buy some things and prepare. Ning Yi pulled Lin Mo Yu away. Seeing them leave, Jiang Tao Tao sighed lightly. Ling Zhen, I know you're resentful, but personal grudges can't affect the trial. Plus, he was introduced by Lord White God. Be careful. Ling Zhen said irritably. I know my limits. I'm just annoyed. If we bring someone, it should be someone useful. What career is a necromancer? Have you heard of it? Jiang Tao Tao shook her head. He's the national top scholar, though that doesn't mean much to us. Becoming top scholar must mean he has something special. Someone interjected, Necromancer seems to be a new career that just appeared this year. It's said to be a unique career. Ling Zhen looked disdainful. New careers appear every few years, but most are trash. Ning Yi pulled Lin Moyu toward the exchange, saying, Don't argue with that guy. He's crazy and not worth it. Lin Moyu said softly, Dogs bite people. People can't bite dogs. Haha. Ning Yi laughed, not expecting Lin Moyu to have this side. They arrived at the Imperial Exchange. Lin Moyu quickly sold all the items he got from the West Sea Mine dungeon. He didn't choose consignment. He turned in materials for recycling quests at the exchange. He directly sold the weapons and equipment to exchange. Weapons grade were iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, with a legendary and mythic above that. Bronze was just entry level, suitable for levels 10 through 20 professionals. Not worth much. Each weapon was priced around 10,000 gold coins. After emptying his storage space, Lin Moyu exchanged for 230,000 gold coins. Though not much, it was enough for him to use for a while. Ning Yi said, We're going on the trial tomorrow. You should buy some red and blue potions. The red and blue potions, she mentioned, were healing and mana potions. Healing potions could treat injuries because the liquid was red. Professionals called them red potions. Mana potions were similar, named for their blue color, used to restore spirit power. These two potions were the most commonly used consumables by professionals. Junior Life Potion can heal injuries suitable for below level 20, 1 hour cooldown. Junior Spirit Potion can restore spirit power suitable for below level 20, 1 hour cooldown. Both potions cost 1,000 gold coins each. Following Ning Yi's advice, Lin Moyu bought 10 of each. He spent 20,000 gold coins. Lin Moyu then used 200,000 gold coins to buy 2 junior skill scrolls. He was left with only 10,000 gold coins. Money really flowed like water. Then they went to the University Exchange and used 100 points to buy a communication device. The device looked like a watch, convenient to wear on the wrist, a necessity for every student. They added each other as friends so they could call anytime. Ning Yi waved her small hand, revealing snow-white skin. Now I can bother you anytime. Lin Moyu looked at the butterfly like Ning Yi, also showing a faint smile. Chapter 63. New Skill, Curse System. According to Ning Yi, originally there was supposed to be another participant in this trial, Ling Zhen's brother. But because of the White God's intervention, Lin Moyu took his spot. That's why Ling Zhen was so hostile towards him. Ning Yi didn't know the specific details of the trial, but she knew it was very important and had specific level requirements. Not too high, not too low. Everything would be revealed tomorrow. Lin Moyu didn't take Ling Zhen seriously. In his eyes, Ling Zhen was just a clown, not worth mentioning. He wasn't arrogant, but confident. He was confident he wouldn't be weaker than any career professional below level 30. The small dorm room was bright as day. A junior skill scroll was activated. A ball of light enveloped Lin Moyu. Minutes later, the light disappeared. Lin Moyu sighed. He hadn't learned a new skill. Using a skill scroll didn't guarantee learning a skill 100% of the time. Even if a skill was learned, it might not be new, but one already known. In any case, he didn't learn a new skill. This was normal. As more skills were mastered, the number of skill scrolls needed to learn a new skill would increase greatly. Junior skill scrolls only costed 100,000 gold. Not expensive. Even using 100 would only be 10 million. But intermediate skill scrolls cost 10 million each. Using many would be very costly. Lin Mo Yu had 2 junior skill scrolls. One failed. He used the second one. The light ball appeared again, enveloping him. Gradually, Lin Mo Yu felt his body heat up. A strange energy emerged from within. He had experienced this feeling before. He felt a bit excited. A new skill. The skill scroll wasn't wasted. Obtained skill. Slow Curse. Slow Curse, level 1. Curse enemies within 5 meters, reducing their speed by 5% for 1 minute. Through his talent amplification, the curse range increased from 5 meters to 100 meters, a 20-fold increase. The slowing effect also increased 20 times, able to reduce the target speed by a full 100%, including attack and movement speed. This effectively reduced the enemy's attack power by over half, and it lasted for 20 minutes. A godly skill. Another godly skill. Lin Mo Yu studied the Slow Curse. My skills can be categorized into summoning, attack, and curse system. I wonder if there will be other systems. Curse system skills greatly weaken enemies, not only greatly increasing safety, but also indirectly increasing my own attack power. Whichever system, they're all very powerful. After studying the skill, he used spirit power to summon 4 skeleton warriors, then drank a junior spirit potion. His spirit power began to recover rapidly. The potion's effect lasted until 100 spirit power was restored after 10 minutes. Knowing the potion's effect, Lin Mo Yu began meditating. 100 spirit power with a 1-hour cooldown between potions. For his 1,000 spirit power, that was only 1/10. Relying solely on potions would take 10 hours to fully recover. Overall, it wasn't much faster than meditation. Lin Mo Yu calculated that using meditation with potions didn't improve efficiency much. Repeatedly interrupting meditation to drink potions would greatly affect meditation quality. Not only troublesome, but counterproductive. The communication device played a pleasant tune, pulling Lin Mo Yu out of meditation. Ning Yi had set the ringtone. She was the only contact in Lin Mo Yu's device. "Wake up, the sun's shining on your butt." As soon as he answered, Ning Yi's mischievous voice came through. "I'm downstairs. Come down quickly for breakfast. We're leaving right after." Okay. Ning Yi had bought a lot of food. "We don't know how long this will take. Need to prepare extra food. Otherwise, like last time, this young lady almost starved to death. Good thing we had your sweet potatoes." Lin Mo Yu chuckled. She had buns but didn't eat them, insisting on sweet potatoes instead. Lin Mo Yu silently followed behind, paying the bill. He spent 10,000 gold coins on enough food for 2 people for a month. Fortunately, their storage space was large enough to hold it all. Expenses at Summer Capital University were truly high. Money flowed like water. 10,000 gold coins would have fed Lin Mo Yu for several years in West Sea City. Jiang Tao Tao and the others were already waiting at Hidden Dragon Academy. Not just them, but many others in the academy had formed teams. Ning Yi pulled Lin Mo Yu over. Jiang Tao Tao checked the time and said seriously, "Don't wander off after we teleport." She clearly had experience, not her first trial. Ling Zhen glared at Lin Mo Yu with disgust. "Kid, don't drag us down." Ning Yi snorted coldly. "You better not drag us down." Jiang Tao Tao had a headache. "Whatever conflicts or thoughts you have, save them for after the trial. You should all understand the importance of this trial. Now everyone introduce your careers." As team leader, she had to unite the team now. Even if only superficially united, it had to be done. Otherwise, they might as well give up on the trial. Duan Gao, level 20, Prophet. Miao Yu, level 20, Elven Elder. Prophet and Elven Elder were both support careers and rare ones at that. Prophets mainly enhance various states. A high-level prophet with a full skill set could at least double a team's combat power. Elven elders were healer-type careers, specializing in healing and simple monster control. Under Jiang Taotao's gaze, Ling Zhen reluctantly said, Ling Zhen, level 21, Warlock. Like elemental mages, warlocks were also a mage-type career and rare careers. Their skills overlapped in some areas, but differed in others. Ning Yi, level 19, Shadow Assassin. Lin Mo Yu, level 17, Necromancer. Jiang Taotao, level 23, Elven Knight. Jiang Taotao's gaze swept over everyone. I'll say it again. You must unite for this trial. Anyone who dares drag us down during the trial, don't blame me for being harsh. Jiang Taotao's expression was serious. Even Ling Zhen perked up his ears. Ning Yi smiled. Don't worry, Sister Tao. We definitely won't affect the trial. Such a huge teleportation array appeared in the air. Hidden Dragon Academy, begin trial teleportation. Chapter 64, Trial Mission, Mermaid's Tears. A giant tower shadow appeared in the sky. The tower stretched from heaven to earth. It's Divine Summer Tower, Ning Yi said softly. Lin Mo Yu was also shocked. He hadn't seen the Divine Summer Tower since entering Summer Capital University. He didn't expect it to suddenly appear in the sky. The tower's peak shot out brilliant light, enveloping Hidden Dragon Academy. The Academy students were simultaneously teleported to the trial location. The teleportation lasted over 10 seconds, indicating the trial site was very far from the university. The sound of ocean waves reached their ears, coming from West Sea City near the coast. Lin Mo Yu was too familiar with the sound of waves to mistake it. The trial site was by the sea. Their feet touched the ground again. Vision quickly recovered as dazzling sunlight shone down. Lin Mo Yu felt like he was back at the beach in West Sea City. Ning Yi's face was pale, her small hand tightly gripping Lin Mo Yu's arm. Pouting unhappily, she said, My head is spinning. Long-distance teleportation is really uncomfortable. Jiang Taotao said, You'll get used to it after a few times. Everyone's like this at first. She looked at Lin Mo Yu with slight surprise, as he showed no signs of discomfort. Could it be he often uses teleportation arrays? She wondered in disdain for him lessening somewhat. Her disdain lessening him somewhat. Lin Mo Yu observed his surroundings. They were on an island. The coastline was not far behind them. They stood on a sandy beach. Waves rolled in one after another. A light barrier appeared not far ahead. The barrier almost covered the entire island. They were outside the barrier. Through it, many monsters could be seen inside the island. A glowing stone floated in front of each person. It's a mission stone, said Jiang Taotao, immediately grabbing hers. Lin Mo Yu also took a hold of his mission stone. The moment he touched it, he understood their trial mission. The island was called Mermaid Island. It was filled with many sea creatures. At the center of the island was a dungeon, the Mermaid's Tier dungeon. Their trial mission was to enter Mermaid Island, fight to the center, enter the Mermaid Dungeon, kill the final boss, and obtain the Mermaid's Tier from it. The trial mission had 3 key points. Number 1, the average level of teams entering Mermaid Island could not exceed 20. This was average level, not individual level. Teams could have a maximum of 6 people. Since they need to face a boss, it was better for the knight to be the higher level. This meant they need to bring a lower level person to balance the average. Lin Mo Yu replacing Ling Zhen's brother's spot was why Ling Zhen resented him. Number 2, The mermaid's tier would only drop in nightmare difficulty, so the team's overall strength couldn't be too weak, or they couldn't clear it. Number 3, only 3 mermaids tier would drop. Only the first 3 teams to clear the dungeon could obtain a mermaid's tier. Lin Mo Yu didn't understand the need for secrecy, thinking it's just clearing a dungeon after all. Could the mermaid's tier have some special properties? Jiang Taotao finished reading the mission and said solemnly, "I didn't expect this trial mission to be Mermaid Island." Having experienced trial missions, she knew more than them. The mermaid dungeon only drops 3 mermaids tier each year. Mermaid's tier can be used to craft a very special equipment with great effects. Mermaid Island is not in Divine Summer Empire territory. So besides our Divine Summer Empire, other countries came to Mermaid Island each year. This time, our entire Hidden Dragon Academy is mobilized with 10 teams total. We're Team 2. We're not only competing with our Academy classmates, but also with career professionals from other countries. Jiang Taotao explained the whole situation. Ning Yi asked, "What do we do then? If we encounter them, do we have to kill?" As she spoke, she unconsciously looked at Lin Mo Yu, who had actually killed people before. Hearing about killing, everyone became visibly tense except Lin Mo Yu, who remained unmoved. Jiang Taotao shook her head. It usually doesn't come to that. Similar things have happened before, mostly just guarding the dungeon entrance to prevent entry. Actually killing is rare. Hearing this, everyone relaxed. Jiang Taotao continued, "But we can't be careless. Deaths have occurred before." "Alright, let's prepare to enter Mermaid Island. Duan Gao, apply buffs." Duan Gao responded and began casting skills. Auras appeared on everyone instantly. Strength enhancement, agility enhancement, defense enhancement, mana activation. With these buffs, everyone's attributes increased greatly. Lin Mo Yu felt the effects of these buffs. Strength, agility, constitution, and spirit all increased by 30%. Mage skill power increased by 20%. All buffs would last for an hour. With the Prophet's buffs, everyone's combat power increased significantly. Prophet was indeed a powerful support career, indispensable especially in high difficulty dungeons. With a Prophet, a team's combat power could increase several times. However, compared to Lin Mo Yu's godly talent, the Prophet's enhancement were too weak. What effects would the Prophet's buffs have on skeleton warriors? Lin Mo Yu wondered. With a thought, a skeleton warrior appeared beside him. A cold wind across from nowhere dropped the temperature by a few degrees. The skeleton warrior's sudden appearance startled everyone. Surrounded by cold wind with flickering soul fire and a frost glinting blade. It made chilling scraping sounds. Duan Gao, who was buffing everyone, was so startled his hand shook and he stopped casting. Miao Yu let out a scream and hid behind Jiang Taotao. "Holy crap! An undead summon!" Jiang Taotao wasn't calm either. "Lin Mo Yu, is this your summon?" Lin Mo Yu looked at Duan Gao. "Please buff it too." "Oh, okay." Duan Gao stuttered, taking 2 seconds to recover before trying to calm himself and continue buffing everyone. Light flashed constantly on the beach as each team applied buffs. Looking around, rare careers were everywhere. Careers rarely seen in other cities were common here. Lin Mo Yu now understood what the White God meant by internal members of Summer Capital University. These people showed talent early, studied and grew up in the university from childhood, then underwent career transition here. They were essentially career professionals cultivated by Summer Capital University. Almost everyone had a rare career and received the best education and resources, far surpassing career professionals from other cities. Like Ning Yi, the same age as Lin Mo Yu, but already level 19. And she knew more than Lin Mo Yu, too. Jiang Tao Tao was only a year older than them, but already level 23. Huh? Duan Gao looked surprised. My skills won't apply to it. The buff auras dissipated as soon as they touched the skeleton warrior. He tried several times with the same result. Lin Mo Yu wasn't disappointed. Perhaps his talent was too strong, directly overriding low-level skills like Duan Gao's. Can't even apply buffs. How useless. Ling Zhen snorted disdainfully. Lin Mo Yu turned to look at him, his gaze cold. Provoked multiple times, even Lin Mo Yu had his limits. The skeleton warrior's eyes glowed red as it also turned to Ling Zhen, its soul fire flickering wildly as cold wind gusted. Ling Zhen felt chills down his spine, involuntarily stepping back as his staff burst into flames. Jiang Tao Tao reacted quickly, immediately stepping between them. Save the fighting for later. Let's complete the trial first. Lin Mo Yu nodded and withdrew his gaze. Ling Zhen took a deep breath, trying to control himself. When the skeleton warrior looked at him just now, he truly felt mortal danger. A boom sounded from the sky, signaling the start of the trial. Jiang Tao Tao immediately said, "Enter the island." The group formed a team, treating as one unit by the light barrier. Their average level was exactly 20, meeting the rules. Everyone felt like passing through a water curtain as they entered Mermaid Island. Chapter 65. The Last Time. The air on the island was full of moisture. Every breath carried a strong fishy smell. The humidity was extreme, as if soaked in water. It was very uncomfortable. What an awful place, smelly and fishy. Ningyi covered her nose, disliking the smell. There was a prominent mountain peak at the center of the island. The mermaid dungeon was on top of the mountain. A huge waterfall could be seen cascading down the mountain from afar. At the peak, the entrance to the mermaid dungeon swirled like an underwater vortex. Jiang Tao Tao looked towards the mountain, confirming their direction. The island was larger than imagined. After passing through the water barrier, everyone had scattered. The once dense crowd was now nowhere to be seen. We need to move quickly. Our target is the mermaid dungeon, Jiang Tao Tao said solemnly. Avoid fighting monsters if possible. She took the lead and ran forward. The others immediately followed. There were ponds everywhere, with many monsters visible inside. These monsters were half human, half fish, covered in scales. They weren't as beautiful and cute as mermaids in stories. Their exposed fangs were very sharp, glinting coldly in the sunlight. Without doubt, their teeth could bite through steel. The team moved swiftly through the narrow paths between ponds. Suddenly, with a splash, a mermaid monster shot out of a pond straight at them. Jiang Tao Tao reacted extremely fast, immediately using a skill. Taunt. The knight's signature skill. The mermaid monster seemed greatly insulted. It suddenly turned towards Jiang Tao Tao, eyes glowing red, seemingly having lost all reason. Lin Mo Yu cast detection on the mermaid. Mermaid Tribe Soldier, level 19. Strength 300. Agility 150. Spirit 200. Constitution 320. Skills none. The attributes match the standard for a level 19 monster. Not very strong and no skills. Such wild monsters were no match for them. Charge! Before the mermaid monster arrived, Jiang Tao Tao had already charged forward with her shield raised. With the charge skill, she instantly crossed over 10 meters and crashed into the mermaid monster. With a bang, the mermaid monster was sent flying several meters. At this moment, a fireball flew out, accurately hitting the mermaid monster. With a boom, the mermaid monster was engulfed in flames. But it didn't die. Struggling to charge at Jiang Tao Tao again, behind it a shadow flashed as Ning Yi appeared beside it. Her dagger glowed as she stabbed. Fatal strike. The skill activated as the dagger pierced the mermaid monster's heart. Scales shattered as the mermaid monster fell with a miserable cry. The ice arrow shot out, hitting the mermaid monster. It was completely frozen, no longer moving. Killed level 19 mermaid tribe soldier. Experience plus 1,500. Jiang Tao Tao obtained fish scale times 1. Lin Moyu received the notification that the mermaid monster was killed. Due to being in a 6-person team, the experience gained wasn't high. As team leader, Jiang Tao Tao received all dropped items. This was a trial, not for leveling up, so Lin Moyu didn't mind. After quickly dealing with the mermaid monster, the team continued forward. They encountered several more waves of monsters along the way. As they got closer to the mountain, monster numbers increased. Their levels also gradually increased. Later, they encountered level 21 monsters, which took some effort to defeat. After killing a level 21 monster, Jiang Tao Tao looked towards the mountain. At our current speed, it will take at least 3 hours to reach the island center. Climbing the mountain will also take time. We're too slow. From now on, when we encounter monsters, Miao Yu will control them, avoid fighting if possible. Let's speed up towards the dungeon. Jiang Tao Tao decided to ignore monsters and increase their pace. Miao Yu nodded. Understood. The team sped up. When encountering monsters again, Miao Yu directly used control skills. Wind binding. With the skill, wind elements moved gently, restraining the monster like shackles. It lasted 1 minute, and by the time it wore off, they would be long gone. This greatly increased their speed. Just 20 minutes later, they could see the foot of the mountain. As Jiang Tao Tao had judged, they were behind. Other teams had already reached the mountain base, well ahead of them. A waterfall cascaded down from the mountaintop. There was only one narrow path up the mountain. Mermaid monsters stood on the waterfall and the path, especially on the mountain base, where the waterfall created many interconnected ponds. The ponds formed a winding road. Mermaid monsters were everywhere, impossible to avoid. Some teams had already reached the mountain base and were clearing monsters preparing to climb. Jiang Tao Tao gritted her teeth. If we charge straight up, do we have a chance? Miao Yu shook her head. There are too many, I can't control them all. And they're level 22, higher than me. My skills have a chance to fail. When monsters were higher level than Miao Yu, her skills had a chance to fail. It had failed several times on the way, but there was only one monster then, so they just killed it when control failed. But here, there were too many monsters, dense like an army camp. Jiang Tao Tao frowned. If they cleared the way up, it would take at least an hour, putting them far behind. But charging straight through without Miao Yu's control would be very difficult. They might even get surrounded by mermaid monsters, putting the team in danger. Jiang Tao Tao was caught in a dilemma. Lin Moyu looked at the path ahead, having found the shortest route. I'll do it, he suddenly said. Ling Zhen sneered almost instinctively. You? What can a level 17 nobody do? Lin Moyu hadn't taken action the whole way, just following behind. Except for Ning Yi, no one knew his abilities. Ning Yi snorted. Ling, shut your stinking mouth. Jiang Tao Tao glared at Ling Zhen, signaling him to be quiet. Then she asked Lin Moyu, what do you plan to do? Lin Moyu said, use skeleton warriors to lure away the mermaid monsters. Jiang Tao Tao's eyes lit up, remembering Lin Moyu was a necromancer. Though she didn't understand what necromancers could do, she knew he had summons. Using summons to lure away mermaid monsters was a good method. This also made Jiang Tao Tao notice that the teams who had reached the mountain base also had summoners. They were likely using summons to lure away mermaid monsters too. Jiang Taotao said, "It's up to you then. Everyone else get ready. We'll charge through when the monsters are lured away." Lin Moyu focused, and skeleton warriors ran forward with their unique clattering sound. So fast. Jiang Taotao's eyes widened. The skeleton warrior's speed far exceeded her expectations. In the blink of an eye, they had run dozens of meters, appearing before a group of mermaid monsters. The mermaid monsters let out shrill cries, immediately charging at the skeleton warriors. The skeleton warriors ignored them, turning to run. They ran to another pond, luring out all the mermaid monsters there. Then they ran to other ponds. In moments, over a dozen mermaid monsters were chasing the skeleton warriors. The skeleton warriors led a group of monsters running further and further. With the path cleared, Jiang Taotao shouted, "Go!" The team quickly advanced. The skeleton warriors ran ahead, clearing the way by luring away monsters along the route. The team's progress was very smooth. In just 10 minutes, they had reached the mountain base. By now, over 100 monsters were chasing the skeleton warriors. Under Lin Moyu's control, the skeleton warriors ran further and further. Suddenly, the skeleton warriors disappeared. Lin Moyu had recalled them to his summoning space. The mermaid monsters suddenly lost their target, looking confused. Jiang Taotao let out a long sigh of relief. "Well done." Ning Yi giggled. "So amazing." Duan Gao and Miao Yu also looked at Lin Moyu with approval. They owed this to him. Ling Zhen said coldly, "Why didn't you do this from the start? We could have reached the top by now." Lin Moyu turned his head, looking at him as if he were an idiot. Wasn't this guy supposed to be a mage? Mages should be smart. How did this guy seem so stupid? Ning Yi snorted. "Ling Zhen, shut your stinking mouth, stop talking nonsense. If you're so capable, do it yourself." Lin Moyu looked at him coldly. "Last time." Ling Zhen looked disdainful. "It's just relying on summons." Jiang Taotao interrupted Ling Zhen. "Enough, be quiet." Ling Zhen had repeatedly targeted Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu rarely spoke, but Ling Zhen always started trouble. Anyone could see who was causing problems. Suddenly, screams from the mountaintop. Everyone looked up to see many mermaid monsters rushing down the mountain. The teams that had climbed up earlier were rapidly retreating downhill. Chapter 66. Either he goes or I go. Jiang Taotao's expression changed drastically. "Retreat quickly." The team immediately backed away from the mountain base. Over 100 mermaid monsters rushed down from the mountaintop, completely blocking the path up. Someone deliberately lured the mermaid monsters here. Lin Moyu saw a person running in front of the monster horde, attracting them. This person wore different clothing from them. Not from Summer Capital University or the Divine Summer Empire. Jiang Taotao also saw him. He is from the Cherry Blossom Country. This should be their unique career, Onmyoji. The person's clothes were embroidered with cherry blossom patterns. Lin Moyu hadn't heard of the Onmyoji career. Ning Yi said solemnly, I've heard this career is very underhanded." Jiang Taotao said, "Indeed, they have many tricks up their sleeves." The Onmyoji took out 2 talismans and threw them left and right. The talismans exploded in midair, creating 2 huge shadowy figures. The shadows immediately rushed down the mountain from the air. Like the skeleton warriors, they attracted all the monsters from the ponds at the mountain base. The retreating Hidden Dragon Academy students were quickly surrounded by monsters. They kept using skills trying to break through. But there were too many monsters. Most couldn't escape. Seeing no way out, they glowed white one by one, teleporting away. The mission stones given before entering the island also functioned as teleportation stones. They could be used to escape when in danger. but once teleported away, the trial mission would end in failure. Ning Yi said, "This is the Onmyoji Shikigami skill. They say it can summon ancient spirits." Miao Yu asked quietly, "Why is he doing this?" Jiang Taotiao said, "He wants to stop us from climbing the mountain." Now the mountain base was full of monsters, at least 200 in total, plus over 100 more at the top at the mountain path. Over 300 monsters in total, completely blocking the way. It would take hours to clear them all. The Onmyoji sat on his Shikigami floating in the air, laughing loudly. "You just stay here. The dungeon belongs to my great cherry blossom country." With that, the Shikigami carried him away, disappearing in an instant. Despicable. Onmyoji is a legendary career. Looks like Cherry Blossom Country went all out this time. By the time we clear all the monsters, it'll be too late. And our teams are scattered now. Many people have quit the trial. That's fine. We can regroup at the dungeon entrance. The problem now is how to get up there. Maybe someone should sacrifice themselves to lure away the monsters. Come on, you think we're level 40 second transition professionals? Don't you know how dangerous it is to lure monsters? There isn't just 10 or 20 monsters, it's hundreds. Let the summoners do it. You think summoners can do anything? They can lure a few monsters, but hundreds? You're joking. Jiang Taotiao looked at Lin Mo Yu. Can you do it? Lin Mo Yu nodded slightly, and a skeleton warrior had already run over. Huh? A skeleton? An undead summon? Whose summon is that? What's it doing? It's going to lure monsters. It's so fast. A skeleton warrior's appearance immediately attracted the monster horde's attention. Many mermaid monsters screamed and chased after the skeleton warrior. In an instant, a third of the surrounding monsters were gone. Jiang Taotao sighed. Too bad there are still too many left. Crackle, crackle. Another skeleton warrior ran over. Two? Jiang Taotao's eyes lit up, surprising Lin Mo Yu had a second skeleton warrior. There was hope. The second skeleton warrior did the same, luring away another batch of monsters. The monsters at the mountain base were mostly gone, leaving only those on the mountain path. Even with these monsters remaining, it would be much faster to clear them now. Well done. Great job, brother. You're amazing, brother. I'll buy you a drink after the trial. I'll take you on a dungeon runs in the future. Everyone praised Lin Mo Yu. Ning Yi smiled brilliantly, seeming happier about Lin Mo Yu being praised than if she were praised herself. Only Ling Zhen's face was ashen, looking like he'd eaten something rotten. At this moment, a third skeleton appeared. There's even a third one. We've got this now. Everyone cheering excitedly. Prepare to climb, Lin Mo Yu said softly. Jiang Taotiao was ready. Prepare. The third skeleton charged up, luring down the monsters on the mountain path. Jiang Taotiao seized the opportunity, quickly rushing up the mountain. Seeing this, other teams immediately followed. Actually, Lin Mo Yu didn't need to go to such trouble. He could have used Corpse Explosion to instantly clear these monsters. But because of Ling Zhen's presence, Lin Mo Yu didn't want this guy to benefit. They were in a team state now. If he used Corpse Explosion, the experience would be shared equally. Why should he? After being provoked multiple times, even Lin Mo Yu's good temper had limits. If it were elsewhere, Ling Zhen would probably be dead already. Everyone ran quickly up the mountain. They reached the top of the several hundred-meter high mountain in just minutes. They saw the dungeon entrance. On the other side of the mountaintop, another group had just run up. Enter the dungeon. Don't let them get ahead. The Hidden Dragon Academy people shouted. Jiang Taotiao quickly rushed towards the dungeon entrance. Huh? How did they get up here? Could they fly too? The Onmyoji, who had been sitting on his Shikigami in midair, looked puzzled. He had clearly lured so many monsters to block the path. Clearing those monsters should have taken hours. By then, the Cherry Blossom Country teams would have finished the dungeon and left. He hadn't expected Hidden Dragon Academy to climb up so quickly, exceeding his expectations. Both sides charged the mountaintop, glanced at each other, then rushed towards the dungeon entrance simultaneously. Whoosh, whoosh. Arrows exploded in the air, falling like rain. Watch out, it's the archers. It's the archers' arrow rain. The Cherry Blossom Country archers suddenly attacked using skills. Mages raised shields. Knights activated protection. 2 skeletons appeared in front of Lin Moyu, shielding him and Ning Yi. They dare attack. Hit them back. Hit them hard, don't hold back. The Hidden Dragon Academy archers and mages also unleashed their skills. Arrows flew everywhere. Spells exploded chaotically. Though they were only around level 20 professionals, their skills were quite dazzling. Healers stood at the back, constantly healing, while support classes quickly replenished statuses. Healing light pillars shot into the sky. Knights joined the fray, charging and clashing. This encounter battle had no prior preparation, no formation to speak of. The scene became extremely chaotic. The 2 sides were evenly matched, neither able to overcome the other. From Lin Moyu's perspective, the Divine Summer Empire side should be stronger. Those from Hidden Dragon Academy were all elites among professionals. Their skills and equipment were very powerful. The Cherry Blossom Country elites were clearly also top-notch, but still slightly inferior to the Divine Summer Empire. The only problem was that earlier Onmyoji luring monsters causing the Divine Summer Empire teams to become incomplete, greatly reducing their combat power. This led to a stalemate, with no clear winner. Both sides fought fiercely, neither able to claim the dungeon. Mages depleted their spirit power and started drinking spirit potions. Archers and knights also entered cooldown. The battle was no longer as intense as before. Gradually both sides retreated, entering a ceasefire. Lin Moyu never took action. His skills were too powerful. He feared if his skeleton warriors struck once, the enemy would die. Then with a corpse explosion, probably a few of them would survive. Jiang Taotao had said the 2 sides had long competed but rarely caused deaths. The seemingly fierce battle earlier only resulted in some injuries, and with the healer's treatment, injuries quickly recovered, not endangering lives. The first clash ended with a draw, both sides wary, not one daring to relax. The dungeon was right before them. The mermaid's tears, a prize both sides were determined to obtain. Our teams are too scattered. We need to regroup. If we can regroup, we'll definitely overpower them. Many people had left the mountain base, scattering the teams, putting them at a disadvantage in battle. We're short a range damage dealer, mage or archer. We need one below level 24. We need a healer, level 21 or below. We need a mage, level 23 or below. Many teams lacked damage dealers, followed by healers. Earlier, when surrounded by monsters, many mages had quit the trial, and there were level requirements. Entering the mermaid dungeon also required an average level no higher than 20. Ling Zhen suddenly spoke up. "Captain, I want to join another team." "Why?" Jiang Taotao was surprised, not expecting Ling Zhen to say this. Ling Zhen pointed at Lin Moyu. "Either he goes or I go." Not only Jiang Taotao was surprised, Duan Gao and Miao Yu also looked shocked. They didn't expect Ling Zhen to make such a threat. And at this moment, right at the dungeon entrance, Duan Gao said solemnly, "Ling Zhen, you're going too far." Miao Yu also said, "That's right, it's not for Lin Moyu. If not for Lin Moyu luring away the monsters, we wouldn't have made it up here." Ling Zhen didn't care. "That's his business. I don't care. I'll say it again. Either he goes or I go." Ning Yi sneered. Ling Zhen, you really are a dog. Ling Zhen ignored Ning Yi. Captain, you choose. Chapter 67. Forget the buffs. Hurry and follow. Jiang Taotao looked at Lin Moyu, then at Ling Zhen. She despised Ling Zhen's behavior, but without a damage dealer, clearing the Nightmare Dungeon would be nearly impossible. The trial would be impossible to complete. Now all teams were looking for mages, so Ling Zhen was in high demand. That's why Ling Zhen chose this moment to make trouble, putting Jiang Taotao in a difficult position. Without Lin Moyu, the team's average level would be too high. But finding a lower level player wasn't hard, at least easier than finding a mage. Ning Yi wanted to say something, but Lin Moyu gently held her back, signaling her not to speak. He knew what Ning Yi wanted to say. If he was asked to leave the team, Ning Yi would definitely leave too. Lin Moyu didn't say anything, just watching quietly. Now it was up to Jiang Taotao to choose. After an internal struggle, Jiang Taotao made her decision. She looked at Ling Zhen. Ling Zhen, you leave the team. Ling Zhen was confident at this point, sure Jiang Taotao would choose him. Unexpectedly, this was her answer. What? He thought he misheard. Captain, if I leave, your trial is ruined. Don't you want to enter Creation God Academy anymore? Jiang Taotao said solemnly. I do, but you forgot my career. Jiang Taotao's career was Elven Knight. Knights had their own code of honor. Everyone here owed thanks to Lin Moyu for getting them this far. She couldn't bring herself to ask Lin Moyu to leave now. Ling Zhen sneered. If that's how it is, don't regret it. He left the team. Mages were in short supply everywhere, so finding another team wouldn't be hard for him. Lin Moyu slowly stood up. Let's enter the dungeon. Huh? Jiang Taotao was stunned. Lin Moyu knew the current situation. Both sides were at a stalemate, neither able to approach the dungeon. As Lin Moyu stood, Ning Yi also got up. Ning Yi giggled. Sister Tao, let's enter the dungeon. Jiang Taotao asked, How? Lin Moyu was already walking towards the dungeon. Follow me. Ning Yi bounced after him happily. She seemed to have blind faith in Lin Moyu. If Lin Moyu said they could enter the dungeon, then they definitely could. Duan Gao and Miao Yu hesitated, unsure what to do. Jiang Taotao thought, worst case, they could retreat. With her there, at least there wouldn't be any danger. The other side probably wouldn't dare kill anyone. Let's go. As the team leader, her words carried weight. Duan Gao and Miao Yu followed along. Jiang Taotao stepped in front of Lin Moyu, gripping her shield tightly. She was clearly nervous. The five suddenly approaching the dungeon immediately provoked a reaction from the Cherry Blossom Country people. Get back. Don't approach the dungeon. Divine Summer people, get lost. The Cherry Blossom Country people shouted, knocking arrows and raising staffs. If they dared approach the dungeon, they would face heavy attacks. Lin Moyu ignored them, continuing towards the dungeon. Jiang Taotao heard what heart was in her throat. Duan Gao and Miao Yu were also very nervous. Only Ning Yi was carefree. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Brother, what are you doing? Come back, it's dangerous. Let's go too. Protect our brother. They all recognized Lin Moyu. If not for his skeletons earlier, they wouldn't have made it here. Though they didn't know what Lin Moyu planned, most chose to protect him. Ling Zhen sneered. Idiot. Going to die? Seeing Lin Moyu ignore their warnings, the Cherry Blossom Country people unleashed their skills. Arrows, spells, and various attacks rained down. Jiang Taotao immediately raised her shield. Lin Moyu pointed forward. Whoosh. 20 skeleton warriors appeared beside him. The 20 skeletons formed a shield firmly protecting the 5 and blocking all attacks. Jiang Taotao was stunned. Everyone was shocked. Wow, so many! How can there be so many? What career is this? These skeletons are so tough. They don't even flinch from attacks. They look so fragile. How are they so sturdy? The skeletons didn't budge despite the Cherry Blossom Country's attacks. Enter the dungeon. Nightmare difficulty. Lin Moyu said calmly, ignoring the various attacks. Jiang Taotao was infected by Lin Moyu's composure. She instinctively chose to trust him. Following Lin Moyu's words, she selected the dungeon. The 5 disappeared at the dungeon entrance along with the skeleton warriors. They went in. 5 people entered the dungeon. Should be nightmare difficulty, right? Of course. What's the use of normal difficulty? Definitely nightmare. Wonder if they can do it. Whether they can do it or not, we can't let those Cherry Blossom Country trash enter the dungeon. Right, don't let those Cherry Blossom Country trash in. After Lin Moyu entered, the 2 sides outside resumed their standoff. Neither side could enter the dungeon. Inside the mermaid dungeon, Jiang Taotao finally relaxed. We really made it in. Ning Yi giggled. I told you. Just trust Lin Moyu. No need to worry. Jiang Taotao said, but even though we're in, we have no damage dealer. How can we clear the dungeon? Though Ning Yi was an assassin class, she was only level 19, not enough damage output. As the knight focused on protection, Jiang Taotao's damage was also lacking. They could handle normal difficulty, but nightmare could be very, very difficult. Ning Yi said, don't worry, we have Mo Yu. Him? But he's only level 17. Ning Yi smiled. His skeletons are very powerful. They were indeed powerful, at least very tough and fast. At this point, they could only trust Ning Yi's words. Jiang Taotao said, all right then. Let's hope the skeleton's damage is enough. I'll try my best to tank the monsters. Miao Yu, heal me promptly and control the battlefield. Miao Yu patted her chest. Don't worry, Sister Tao. Duan Gao started applying buffs, but Lin Moyu was already walking forward. Since the skeletons couldn't receive buffs anyway, no point wasting time. Monsters soon appeared ahead. A mermaid over 2 meters tall appeared on the path. Detection flew out. Mermaid Elite Warrior, Enhanced Elite Monster, Level 21, Strength 2000, Agility 1200, Spirit 800, Constitution 2200, Skill Screech. With a thought, the skeleton warriors swarmed forward. The ones in front simultaneously used Berserk Slash. Bang, bang, bang. The Mermaid Elite Warrior fell with a miserable cry. Killed level 21 Mermaid Elite Warrior. Experience plus 10,000. Obtained fish skin times 10. Duan Gao was still applying buffs when the sudden notification startled him. What just happened? How did they suddenly gain experience? Jiang Taotao also stared wide-eyed, looking at Lin Moyu in disbelief. This was a nightmare dungeon monster, an enhanced elite monster. Even with a perfect team composition, it should take 1 to 2 minutes to kill. What just happened? A few skeletons charged in, then bang, bang, bang. The monster died nearly instantly killed. Lin Moyu's skeletons weren't just tough and fast, their attack power was terrifyingly high. It's already dead? That was practically an instant kill. Jiang Taotao muttered, still not fully processing what happened. Ning Yi acted like it was natural. I told you, Moyu's skeletons are amazing. She quickly followed after Lin Moyu. Duan Gao called out, wait, I haven't finished buffing. Forget the buffs. Hurry and follow. Jiang Taotao shouted, quickly chasing after them. Chapter 68. Steam rolling through. Cover your ears. The 20 skeleton warriors steamrolled ahead. They didn't care what kind of enhanced elite monsters it was. They just charged in and slaughtered everything. Basically, no monster could last more than 5 seconds. There aren't many monsters in this dungeon. The monsters were scattered and few, so experience gain was slow. It would be better to gather a batch of monsters and use corpse explosion for a satisfying blast. He didn't summon more skeleton warriors as it wouldn't increase efficiency. Jiang Taotao never imagined clearing a dungeon could be so easy. Usually she was the most exhausted when doing dungeons. As a knight, she had to be at the front, watching every monster attack. So she had to firmly hold aggro while protecting teammates. Now she just followed behind, not needing to do anything. Necromancer. This career is pretty amazing, she thought to herself. Duan Gao and Miao Yu had similar thoughts. After entering the dungeon, there was a winding passage. Like being in a cave, the humidity was even heavier than outside, with a rotten smell added to the fishy odor. Ningyi had been covering her nose since entering the dungeon. After walking for a while, they finally reached the end of the passage. A huge cavern appeared ahead. Jumping down from the passage end was a 50-meter drop. A giant python was coiled in the center of the cavern. The python was at least 30 meters tall, with a diameter of over 1 meter. Black scales like armor covered its body, reflecting a metallic sheen. Lin Moyu's group had attracted the python's attention, its huge eyes looking at them. If they dared jump down, they would surely face the python's powerful attack. Detection flew out. Mermaid Queen's Pet Snake, Elite Boss. Level 23. Strength 3,600. Agility 5,500. Spirit 3,000. Constitution 5,000. Skill Lash, Death Coil, Venom. Such a huge python being called the Mermaid Queen's pet snake was rather amusing. This was the highest attribute monster Lin Moyu had seen, much higher than the Goblin King. Very close to the Skeleton Warrior, even surpassing them in agility. Jiang Taotao didn't hesitate. I'll tank it. Lin Moyu shook his head. No need. None of them moved, but the Skeleton Warriors had already charged down. Lin Moyu still didn't summon more Skeleton Warriors. In his view, 20 were more than enough. The Skeleton Warriors leapt up, pouncing on the giant python. The python rose up, smashing several Skeleton Warriors away with a loud bangs. Skill Lash. The python's tail whipped out, sweeping away several more Skeleton Warriors. Half of the 20 Skeleton Warriors were knocked away in the first clash. The python's reaction was unexpectedly agile. The remaining Skeleton Warriors couldn't land on its body. The python swam swiftly through the cavern, its huge tail constantly whipping away Skeleton Warriors. The Skeleton Warriors' attack could only land occasionally, not even able to use skills. The Skeleton Warriors seemed at a disadvantage, but they weren't taking much damage. After all, with 5,400 constitution, their base defense was not low. Jiang Taotao looked anxious. It's too agile. What do we do? Lin Moyu said softly, It's fine. His palm glowed faintly as he gently pointed at the giant python. Skill, Slow Curse. A red light suddenly filled the cavern, everyone hearing a faint hum, as if something terrible had descended. A red shackle symbol appeared above the python's head. In an instant, the python's speed slowed by a full 100%. Now the Skeleton Warriors easily caught the python. Their blades fell frantically, hacking at the python's scales. Then skills erupted, dealing even more damage. Blood sprayed, scales shattered. The python screamed continuously. Is this a curse? Jiang Taotao recognized the red symbol above the python's head. Lin Moyu nodded. Yes. Necromancers weren't just summoners, but also mages. Having lost its speed advantage, the Python could only engage in melee with the skeleton warriors. Skill, Death Coil. The skill activated. The Python's body coiling around several skeleton warriors. Even the skeleton warriors were violently squeezed, making cracking sounds. It was chilling to hear. But the skeleton warriors were too sturdy. Though the sound was scary, they weren't really hurt. And the coiled skeleton warriors' blades never stopped. They still hacked at the Python's body. The Python couldn't take it and released the skeleton warriors, spitting venom. The cavern instantly became unbearably foul, nauseating. The skeleton warriors were splashed with venom. Lin Moyu sensed they took some damage, but still not too serious. With balanced attributes, no pain, no fear, the skeleton warriors were nearly perfect. The Python tried everything but still couldn't do much to the skeleton warriors. And under the curse, it had lost its greatest advantage, speed. After 2 minutes of struggle, the Python collapsed with a boom. Even its eyes filled with unwillingness. Killed level 23 Mermaid Queen's pet snake, experience plus 50,000. Obtained silver grade armor, snakeskin armor. Obtained a mid-level monster crystal core. Jiang Taotao's mouth twitched, hardly believing it. Is it over just like that? It's over? It's over. Lin Moyu said as he leaped down, landing steadily after bouncing off the cavern walls. Jiang Taotao and the others were still dazed, unable to react. Ning Yi smiled brightly, happier the more amazing Lin Moyu was. Stop daydreaming, let's go. She said as she gracefully leaped down, light as a butterfly, much more elegant than Lin Moyu. Jiang Taotao and the others finally snapped out of it and jumped down. Passing through the cavern, a sea of blue entered their view. Ahead was a magnificent palace, the Mermaid Queen's palace. All the foul odors had vanished without a trace. Instead, there was a faint fragrance here. The whole environment had changed, clean and tidy. From where they stood to the palace gates, patrols of guards were making rounds. Each patrol consisted of 3 mermaid soldiers. They wore armor and wielded tridents looking formidable. No one used detection as it would attract their attention. These military-looking mermaid monsters weren't far apart. One wrong move could pull a large group. 1, 2, 3. Wow, there are 60 patrol teams, a total of 180 mermaid monsters. Ning Yi counted, sticking out her tongue. The number was a bit scary. Jiang Taotao added, and they all looked like enhanced elite monsters. Dealing with one such monster was difficult. 3 at once would be the limit. Based on Jiang Taotao's experience, they would pull 3 monsters from a corner, clearing them bit by bit, gradually clearing through. It would be time-consuming and laborious, but safer. Ning Yi looked at Lin Moyu. So many monsters. What do we do? Lin Moyu was actually happy to see so many monsters. The more monsters, the better. Simple. As he spoke, 20 skeleton warriors had already charged out. The sudden appearance of skeleton warriors immediately attracted the mermaid soldiers' attention. Team after team of soldiers chased after the skeleton warriors, luring monsters? Was he trying to draw away so many monsters? That wasn't a bad idea. As the skeleton warriors attracted attention, Lin Moyu's detection followed. Mermaid Elite Soldier, Enhanced Elite Monster. Level 22. Strength 2,200. Agility 1,400. Spirit 1,000. Constitution 2,400. Skill Stunning Sweep. Seeing the Mermaid Elite Soldier's attributes, he had a grasp of the situation. Soon, all 180 elite soldiers were gathered by the skeleton warriors. Then the skeleton warriors ran straight back to Lin Moyu's position, bringing the monsters with them. Jiang Taotao's hair stood on end. What was Lin Mo Yu doing? The skeleton warriors stopped 60 meters from Lin Mo Yu, suddenly turning to unleash their skills. The mermaid elite soldiers also unleashed their skills simultaneously. Their tridents swept out glowing arcs. Skill, Berserk Strike. Skill, Stunning Sweep. The two skills collided, skill light shooting into the sky, brilliant as fireworks. The skeleton warriors' attributes were too high, especially when using skills. Their attributes surpassed the mermaid elite soldiers several times over. In the skill collision, the skeleton warriors completely overwhelmed them. A mermaid elite soldier fell with a cry. Cover your ears, Lin Mo Yu said to Ning Yi. Oh, Ning Yi quickly covered her ears. Jiang Taotao and the others hadn't understood what was happening when a huge boom nearly knocked them over. Then several more booms followed. Skill, Corpse Explosion. After several thunderous explosions, everything fell silent. Jiang Taotao and the others were stunned by the flood of experience notifications. My God, what just happened? How is this possible? How did he do it? What skill is this? A massive explosion? How is it so powerful? Not a single mermaid elite soldier survived. They gained a huge amount of experience and materials. This was the first time Jiang Taotao and the others experienced the thrill of experience notifications flooding the screen. Everyone looked extremely excited. The gates of the Mermaid Queen Palace rumbled, opened amidst the explosion sounds. Chapter 69. Completing the trial. Never teaming up again. The gates of the Mermaid Queen's palace opened. A strange aura swept out. Azure light enveloped the space. Along with the light appeared the Mermaid Queen. Noble, elegant, beautiful. Though not human, it didn't prevent appreciation of her beauty. So beautiful, Ning Yi's eyes misted over, her pupils losing focus. She unconsciously walked towards the Mermaid Queen. Lin Mo Yu pulled her back. Not just Ning Yi, but Jiang Taotao was also affected. Lin Mo Yu, Miao Yu, and Duan Gao remained normal. Miao Yu exclaimed, "It's a charm spell." She quickly cast a skill, beams of light falling on everyone. Skill, Clarity. Ning Yi snapped awake. What happened to me? Jiang Taotao also shuddered, her pupils regaining focus. What happened? Miao Yu looked at the Mermaid Queen. She has an innate charm ability. You and Yi were affected. I used Clarity to dispel it. Lin Mo Yu, Duan Gao, and Miao Yu had higher spirit powers, so the Mermaid Queen's innate charm didn't affect them. Ning Yi felt scared. That was terrifying. Jiang Taotao took a deep breath. Well, she's a boss. It's normal to have some special abilities. She had experienced many dungeons. Though not high level, some bosses did have special skills. Catching people off guard, she had almost fallen for it this time too. The Mermaid Queen looked at the dead elite mermaid soldiers, then at the skeleton warriors. Suddenly, she let out a scream. Though beautiful, the Mermaid Queen's scream was unbearably shrill. Everyone painfully covered their ears. The Mermaid Queen's scream raised waves, whipping up fierce winds. The many corpses on the ground were instantly scattered in all directions. Lin Mo Yu's eyes tightened slightly. He had originally planned to use Corpse Explosion when the Mermaid Queen approached. He hadn't expected her to scatter the corpses first. The skeleton warriors charged forward against the fierce wind. Facing the at least 5-meter tall Mermaid Queen, the skeleton warriors seemed tiny. The skeleton warriors looked fragile, but the Mermaid Queen's fierce winds couldn't blow them away. As the skeleton warriors advanced, detection followed. Mermaid Queen, boss level monster. Level 24. Strength 5,000. Agility, 6,000. Spirit, 5,000. Constitution, 6,000. Skills, Terrifying Scream. Tidal Wave, Queen's Lament. The Mermaid Queen's attributes were extremely high, surpassing the skeleton warriors in agility and constitution. Her strength and spirit were also very close to the skeleton warriors. After all, she was a level 24 dungeon boss, a leader class monster. The skeleton warriors were only level 17, a full 7 levels lower. Jiang Taotao was also shocked seeing the Mermaid Queen's attributes. She swallowed. Compared to other dungeons, the Mermaid Queen's attributes are higher. Using normal tactics, it would take at least an hour to defeat her. By normal tactics, Jiang Taotao meant with a full team composition. 6 people, 1 tank, 2 support, 3 damage. The way they could slowly wear down the dungeon boss, but now, she couldn't estimate at all what would happen next. Lin Moyu's presence completely broke her existing knowledge. Could the gap between careers really be this large? She couldn't understand. The 20 skeleton warriors surrounded the Mermaid Queen, launching fierce attacks. The Mermaid Queen wielded a huge trident, constantly sweeping it around. Each time the skeleton warriors were knocked back, only to get back up again and attack. Lin Moyu could sense the skeleton warriors were being injured by the Mermaid Queen's attacks. The Mermaid Queen's 5,000 strength was enough to damage the skeleton warriors, and with 6,000 constitution, the skeleton warriors' damage to her was greatly reduced. The skeleton warriors surrounding the Mermaid Queen gave the illusion of wolves attacking a lion. At this rate, it was hard to say if 20 skeleton warriors could defeat the Mermaid Queen. After several rounds of attacks, some skeleton warriors' bones began to crack. Their movements also started slowing. Jiang Taotao noticed this. Duan Gao, buff us. Be ready to fight any time. She planned to step in when the skeleton warriors couldn't hold on. Lin Moyu said softly, "No need." His palm glowed faintly. A huge red light fell from the sky. Skill, Slow Curse. A red shackle symbol appeared above the Mermaid Queen's head. Her speed halved. Her combat power sharply decreased. She sensed the curse and glowed, screaming again. Skill, Tidal Wave. Azure light filled the space as huge waves surged forth, instantly scattering the skeleton warriors. The massive waves rose up, sweeping the skeleton warriors into the sky. The skeleton warriors spun in the huge waves, torn by the immense force. Several skeleton warriors were badly injured in the waves, their bones shattered. Lin Moyu immediately recalled them. Jiang Taotao gripped her sword and shield tightly, feeling it would soon be her turn. As the skill ended and the waves disappeared, the skeleton warriors fell from the sky. At this moment, Lin Moyu pointed. Cold wind howled as a mass of black appeared. He had released all 88 remaining skeleton warriors. The skeleton warriors charged at the Mermaid Queen like lightning as soon as they appeared. So many. How can there be so many summons? It's terrifying. Only now did they realize Lin Moyu hadn't released all his summons before. He had only used a portion. Jiang Taotao even wondered if Lin Moyu was willing. Could he easily eliminate all those mermaid monsters blocking the mountain path? Just a few of those big explosions could be enough. Nearly 100 skeleton warriors surrounded and attacked the Mermaid Queen. In the blink of an eye, the skeletons covered the Mermaid Queen's entire body. They activated the skills one after another, constantly striking the Mermaid Queen. The Mermaid Queen's skin split open as she screamed incessantly. She wildly swung her trident, her whole body thrashing about. Under the slow curse, her speed was halved. She couldn't shake off the skeleton warriors. Suddenly, crying sounds entered their ears. Skill, Queen's Lament. The Mermaid Queen used her skill. Amidst the crying, Jiang Taotao and Ning Yi were affected again. Their pupils lost focus once more. Miao Yu quickly used Clarity, but this time Clarity had no effect. It's not working. My level is too low. Clarity can't counter the boss's skill. Lin Moyu said softly, "It's fine." As long as he wasn't affected, it was fine. He held Ningyi back while Miao Yu held Jiang Tao Tao. Lin Moyu's spirit was high enough to resist. The skeleton warriors were even less affected. They had no emotions, no pain, no fear. Chivalry was impossible for them. The skeleton warrior's blades never stopped for a second. With her skill ineffective, the Mermaid Queen attacked with her trident again. As her skill ended, Ningyi and Jiang Tao Tao recovered. Both looked scared. The skill was too terrifying. They had no resistance at all. Azure light erupted again as huge waves rolled in. The waves swept up some skeleton warriors, but others clung tightly to the Mermaid Queen. They continued attacking with their other hand holding their blades. This time, the waves weren't very effective. The battle lasted a full 3 minutes. The Mermaid Queen finally fell with a last cry. Kill the Mermaid Queen. Experience plus 80,000. Obtain silver grade weapon. Mermaid Queen's longsword. Obtain silver grade weapon. Mermaid Queen's staff. Obtain Mermaid's tier ×1. Mermaid Queen's longsword. Silver grade. Strength plus 50. Constitution plus 50. Warrior skill power plus 10%. Usable after level 20. Mermaid Queen staff. Silver grade. Spirit plus 50. Constitution plus 50. Mage skill power plus 10%. Usable after level 20. Seeing the notifications, Jiang Tao Tao excitedly clenched her fists. Besides the mermaid's tier, they got 2 silver grade weapons. Much better attributes than bronze grade weapons. The 10% skill power boost would greatly increase combat power for various careers. Ningyi jumped happily. Yay, we completed the trial mission. We're one step closer to Creation God Academy. Jiang Tao Tao smiled. If we complete a few more trials and level up more, we'll definitely get into Creation God Academy. We owe this to Lin Moyu. Without him, we probably couldn't have completed the trial. Miao Yu said softly, "That's right, Ling Zhen was the worst. Don't mention that guy. We'll never team up with someone like him like that again." Jiang Tao Tao gritted her teeth, despising people like Ling Zhen the most. Lin Moyu calculated the time. About half an hour had passed since they entered the dungeon. The standoff outside might still be going on. Even if other teams enter the dungeon, they probably wouldn't clear it so quickly. "Yi, do you have a cooldown talisman?" Ningyi's eyes sparkled, immediately understanding Lin Moyu's idea. She giggled. "Of course I do." Chapter 70. They went in again, taking you along for the ride. Outside the dungeon, both sides were still in a standoff. In the past half hour, another conflict had erupted between them. Neither side had gained an advantage. They were now about 50 meters away from the dungeon entrance, unable to get closer. Getting closer would invite fierce attacks. Suddenly, 5 figures appeared at the dungeon entrance. 10 skeleton warriors appeared with them. Lin Moyu's group left the dungeon under the protection of the skeleton warriors. They came out. So fast, it's only been a half hour. They probably couldn't beat it and retreated. Ha, those skeletons look tough, but they probably just couldn't, they're just good as meat shields. In their eyes, the skeleton warriors were just tough and numerous, nothing more. The Cherry Blossom Country people mocked them. They absolutely couldn't believe Lin Moyu had cleared the dungeon. Just half an hour wasn't enough time. Even with a perfect team composition, it would take at least 1 to 2 hours to clear a nightmare difficulty dungeon. The Divine Summer Empire side had a different reaction. They were relieved to see Lin Moyu's group return safely. "Brother, come back quickly. It's okay if you failed the dungeon as long as you're alive. As long as you're alive, there will be more chances in the future." Ling Zhen sneered. "Luckily, you managed to come out alive." Jiang Tao Tao scanned both sides and saw no one was missing. This meant no one had entered the dungeon. Be careful, you guys. Ning Yi smiled happily. Don't worry, with Mo Yu here, we'll be fine. I'll wait for you outside. Duan Gao, Miao Yu also said good luck. The three retreated to the Divine Summer Empire team. Ning Yi and Lin Mo Yu formed a two-person team under everyone's gaze. Ning Yi took out a cooldown talisman and activated it. In a faint glow, the dungeon cooldown time was reset to 0. The two entered the dungeon again. Why did they go in again? What are they doing? Just 2 people entering the dungeon? Even on normal difficulty, 2 people aren't enough, right? A junior cooldown talisman. That woman actually has such a high-level item. Looks like her background isn't simple. That's something hard to buy even with money. Junior cooldown talismans weren't easy to obtain. Lin Moyu had searched both the Imperial Exchange and University Exchange but couldn't find any. This item was clearly unique, was clearly quite precious. He had only seen one with Xiao Sui before. He had just asked tentatively earlier, not expecting Ning Yi to actually have one. Like Xiao Sui's, it was a junior cooldown talisman with 10 uses. After 10 uses, it needed energy replenishment. Ning Yi's talisman had 5 uses left. If they brought Jiang Tao and the others, they could only run 1 more round. With just Ning Yi and Lin Moyu, they could run 2 more rounds. After discussing, they decided Lin Moyu and Ning Yi would run the dungeon alone. Jiang Tao Tao, Duan Gao, and Miao Yu's presence didn't make much difference anyway. As long as Lin Moyu was there, it was enough. After entering the dungeon, Ning Yi's face beamed with a brilliant smile. Even the dungeon's stench didn't seem so bad anymore. You promised to help me level up. I didn't expect it to happen so soon. Lin Moyu smiled. I keep my promises. Ning Yi smiled even more brightly. Then you have to keep taking me in the future, okay? Don't just do it once and stop. All right, Lin Moyu agreed. 10 skeleton warriors had already appeared and were running down the passage. With the previous experience, Lin Moyu didn't waste time fighting monsters one by one. He directly pulled the few monsters in the passage along as they ran. Skeleton warriors in front, mermaid elite warriors behind, they advanced along the passage. 5 minutes later, the skeleton warriors dragged over 30 mermaid elite warriors to the end of the passage, arriving at the mermaid queen's pet snake's cave. The skeleton warriors leaped down. The monsters behind also jumped down after them. After they all jumped down, Lin Moyu and Ning Yi appeared at the end of the passage. The giant python, an elite boss, was frantically chasing the skeleton warriors along with the elite warriors. Skill, slow curse. With a flash of red light, shackle symbols appeared above all the monsters' heads. Their speed immediately slowed. At this moment, the skeleton warriors turned to counterattack. Over a dozen skeleton warriors simultaneously attacked one elite warrior. The unfortunate mermaid elite warrior was almost instantly killed. Skill, corpse explosion. Boom. An explosion suddenly rang out. The cave shook violently, countless rocks falling. Almost all the mermaid elite warriors were killed instantly. Killed level 21 mermaid elite warrior. Experience plus 25,000. Obtained fish skin times 6. Killed level 21 elite warrior. Mermaid elite warrior. Experience plus 25,000. Obtained fish skin times 10. A series of notifications appeared. Over 30 mermaid elite warriors brought each of them over 700,000 experience. Their experience rapidly increased. The giant python hadn't reacted to what happened yet. It was heavily injured by the corpse explosion. Lin Moyu continuously activated skills, triggering corpse explosion 10 times in 3 seconds. The giant python fell with a miserable cry. Killed level 23 mermaid queen's pet snake. Experience plus 125,000. Obtained silver grade armor, snake skin light armor. Obtained mid-grade monster crystal core. Last time clearing the monster one by one to this point took over half an hour. This time it only took 5 minutes. several times faster. So amazing. Ning Yi's eyes curved into crescents, looking very pretty. Lin Moyu was slightly dazed, then said softly, "Let's go." The two jumped into the cave and continued forward. They soon arrived outside the Mermaid Queen's palace. Many mermaid elite soldiers were patrolling outside the palace. The skeleton warriors quickly ran over. Soon after several violent explosions, the two gained another large amount of experience and materials. Ning Yi began glowing white. I leveled up. Finally level 20. Ning Yi stretched lazily, letting out a sigh. When Lin Moyu first met Ning Yi, she was already level 19. At that time, Lin Moyu was only level 10. After these days, Ning Yi was still only level 19. Lin Moyu realized how lazy this girl was at leveling. Probably the type who wouldn't move if she didn't have to. Azure light poured down as the Mermaid Queen's palace opened again. The beautiful and noble Mermaid Queen walked out of the palace. With the previous experience, Ning Yi quickly ducked behind Lin Moyu. I won't be charmed if I don't look at her, right? With Lin Moyu as a shield, she indeed wasn't charmed. Seeing all her soldiers dead, Mermaid Queen angrily let out a scream. This time, Lin Moyu was experienced and prepared. The skeleton warriors retreated, carrying the mermaid elite soldiers' corpses. The corpses weren't blown away by the air currents from the scream. After the scream faded, the skeleton warriors ran back with the corpses. Lin Moyu acted at the same time. Skill, slow curse. Under the crimson shackles, the Mermaid Queen's speed immediately slowed. The skeleton warriors ran back to the Mermaid Queen, carrying over a dozen corpses. Skill, corpse explosion. An old trick without novelty, but very effective. Moreover, this dungeon didn't have aspects Lin Moyu could exploit. Who told her to have so many enhanced elite monsters in front of her palace? Dead monster corpses in dungeons only exist for a limited time, about 2 minutes. The Mermaid Queen happened to rush out in this short time. If she had come out later, Lin Moyu wouldn't have been able to use these corpses. Corpse explosion's attack power was based on the corpse's max HP. After talent enhancement, the damage became 300% of the corpse's max HP, a full 3 times damage. As a dungeon boss, the Mermaid Queen's HP was only about 20 to 30 times that of enhanced elite monsters. In a series of explosions, the Mermaid Queen fell with a wail. She didn't even have a chance to use skills, almost instantly killed. Killed Mermaid Queen. Experience plus 200,000. Obtained silver grade weapon, Mermaid Queen's dagger. Obtained silver grade weapon, Mermaid Queen's spellbook. Obtained mermaid's tier times 1. Mermaid Queen's dagger, silver grade, agility plus 50, constitution plus 50. Assassin skill power plus 10%, usable after level 20. Mermaid Queen's spellbook, silver grade, spirit plus 100. Mage skill power plus 10%, usable after level 20. It hadn't even been 10 minutes since entering the dungeon. The speed was astonishing. The efficiency was terrifying. Ning Yi clapped excitedly on the side. Quick, 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 let's do it again. Let's get all 3 mermaid tiers. Chapter 71. Instantly killing the Shikigami, scaring away the cherry blossom country. The two exited the dungeon. Ning Yi immediately used a cooldown talisman. A few seconds later, they entered the dungeon again. What are they doing? Why did they come out right after entering the dungeon, then go back in? That's not how you were supposed to use a cooldown talisman. What a waste. Is this what it means to be rich and willful? The two opposing sides, still in a standoff outside, were stunned. They couldn't understand what Lin Moyu and Ning Yi were doing. Even if they racked their brains, they wouldn't guess the two were clearing the nightmare difficulty mermaid dungeon. and clearing it in just 10 minutes. Only Jiang Taotao and the other two knew the real situation. The three looked at each other, their eyes full of shock. They knew Lin Moyu could easily solo the mermaid dungeon, but they couldn't imagine clearing it in 10 minutes. Even just casually walking through the dungeon, it would take about that long. Lin Moyu repeated the process again, clearing the dungeon with Ning Yi. Yay, this time it took 8 minutes and 58 seconds, over 30 seconds faster than the last time. Ning Yi looked at the time on her communicator, which was actually counting down. Lin Moyu chuckled. This girl was really interesting. Others treated the trial as a mission, but Ning Yi seemed to be treating it like a game. This time, after leaving, the two didn't re-enter the dungeon, but returned to the Divine Summer Empire team. Did they use up all the cooldown talisman charges? What a waste. Why aren't they going back in? Go on, I dare you to enter again. The Cherry Blossom Country shouted, full of disdain. Their eyes showed more jealousy, wishing they could snatch Ning Yi's cooldown talisman. After Lin Moyu and Ning Yi returned, they regrouped with Jiang Taotao and the others. Jiang Taotao asked, "Did you get it?" Lin Moyu handed the mermaid's tear to Jiang Taotao. For this trial, they were one team, with Jiang Taotao as leader. She would need to complete the final task submission. Suddenly, someone pointed at the dungeon and shouted, "The dungeon disappeared." This shout was likely a thunderclap, drawing everyone's attention. The vortex at the dungeon entrance shuddered a few times before completely vanishing. How could the dungeon disappear? This is impossible unless all three mermaids' tears were obtained. Only then would the dungeon disappear. Just now, didn't that person enter 3 times? Could it be they got the mermaid's tears? They cleared nightmare difficulty? Is that even possible? Whether possible or not, the facts were right in front of them. The dungeon had truly disappeared. It was no longer possible to obtain mermaid's tears. "Let's go," Lin Moyu said softly. They had the mermaid's tear, no need to stay any longer. "Don't let them leave. They must have the mermaid's tears. We have to make them hand them over. Take them back. Hand over the mermaid's tears or you're not leaving." The Cherry Blossom Country people were furious, all pressing forward. The Divine Summer Empire side was also curious. Someone asked, "Jiang Taotao, did you really get the mermaid's tear?" Jiang Taotao didn't deny it. "The mermaid's tear is indeed in my possession." Hiss. Everyone drew in sharp breath. This meant they had really cleared the dungeon earlier, especially the last 2 times. With just 2 people clearing the dungeon, how did they manage that? Almost everyone's eyes held confusion. Ling Zhen shouted internally, "This is impossible. They couldn't have cleared the dungeon." But regardless of doubts, faced with Cherry Blossom Country's pressure, the Divine Summer Empire, Summer Capital University, and Hidden Dragon Academy people were extremely united. They immediately formed a battle formation. Get lost. How dare mere Cherry Blossom Country people act wild before our Divine Summer Empire? Want to snatch the mermaid's tears? No way. Suddenly a boom sounded in the sky. The wind scattered the clouds, revealing 2 huge Shikigami. The Onmyoji finally stopped hiding and revealed himself. He sat on a Shikigami emanating a powerful aura. Judging by aura alone, his level was very high, probably not below 30. His career was the Cherry Blossom Country's unique Onmyoji, a legendary career. As he possessed powerful Shikigami, not easy to deal with. Jiang Taotao looked slightly nervous, raising an eyebrow. This person is at least level 30. But then she suddenly remembered even powerful Mermaid Queen couldn't last 2 to 3 minutes against Lin Moyu. No matter how strong this Onmyoji was, he probably couldn't solo the Nightmare Mermaid dungeon either. Lin Moyu's skeletons were each so powerful. Thinking of this, Jiang Taotao relaxed again. The Onmyoji stared at Jiang Taotao. Hand over the mermaid's tear, or you're not leaving. Both Shikigami turned to look at Jiang Taotao. Their gaze was cold. Before Jiang Taotao could speak, Lin Moyu had already acted, fire flashing in his palm. Skill. Soul fire. A flame appeared above one Shikigami's head. The flame instantly burrowed into the Shikigami's body. The Shikigami let out an earth-shaking scream. Cold wind howled. The scream was unbearably shrill as the Shikigami twisted and deformed. The Onmyoji's face changed. He immediately used a skill trying to stabilize the Shikigami. At the same time, he coldly looked at Lin Moyu, seeking death. Another terrifying Shikigami appeared in the sky. This Shikigami was over 3 meters tall, wearing armor with a snake head and human body, wielding a huge axe. As soon as it appeared, it flew towards Lin Moyu. Attack! Another chaotic battle began. The Hidden Dragon Academy side unleashed a barrage of attacks on the axe-wielding Shikigami, but it was like a stone drop in the sea, causing no damage at all. Everyone realized this Shikigami was very strong. The Onmyoji sneered. Your attacks can at most tickle my axe god. 5 skeleton warriors appeared beside Lin Moyu. They leapt high, meeting the descending axe Shikigami. Skill. Berserk Strike. The skeleton warriors' blades flashed red. With their 5,400 strength, their attack was already terrifyingly strong. The skill further doubled their attack. Bang, bang, bang. This seemingly powerful Shikigami was instantly destroyed. It turned into a puff of blue smoke, dissipating in the air. So weak? Lin Moyu was slightly stunned. The seemingly powerful Shikigami was unexpectedly weak. Others were also dumbfounded. Their own attacks had no effect at all, but Lin Moyu's skeletons killed the enemy Shikigami in 2 or 3 strikes. Was the Shikigami really that weak? Or were the skeletons too strong? With the Shikigami destroyed, the Onmyoji, as its master, also suffered heavy damage. His face instantly turned deathly pale as he violently coughed up a mouthful of blood. At this moment, fire flashed in Lin Moyu's hand again. The still screaming Shikigami suffered another heavy blow. 2 skeleton warriors had silently appeared beside it, their blades falling. This Shikigami was also instantly killed. The Onmyoji screamed again. He hurriedly urged his mount Shikigami to fly high away from Lin Moyu. His eyes looking at Lin Moyu were full of hatred, but also fear. Everyone was startled by this scene. The chaotic battle on both sides stopped. One by one, they looked at Lin Moyu with shock and fear. How can his skeletons be so powerful? Those were Shikigami, yet they were so easily slain. What kind of skeletons are these? What career is he? What level is he? Questions arose one after another. The Cherry Blossom Country people doubted Lin Moyu's career and level. Lin Moyu wore a blocking badge so they couldn't see his career and level. But the Onmyoji in the sky knew Lin Moyu was only level 17 with the Necromancer career. To be so powerful at just level 17, this career must be terrifyingly strong. And Lin Moyu must have awakened a talent. He was a talent career holder. The Onmyoji felt he must bring his intelligence back. A powerful career holder had appeared in the Divine Summer Empire. Thinking of this, he left on his Shikigami without looking back. Losing 2 Shikigami in succession made his heart bleed. 10 skeleton warriors lined up in the field, their bones emitting a blue-white light, their blades gleaming coldly, soul fire flickering constantly, cold wind gusting. Just looking at them was enough to scare away the faint-hearted. Faced with the skeleton warriors, no Cherry Blossom Country person dared to attack. Even the Onmyoji was easily driven away. How could they withstand this? Retreat? Or fight? This was a difficult question. The skeleton warriors suddenly moved, walking towards the Cherry Blossom Country people with scraping sounds. Their blades swayed, carrying a chilling intent. As the skeleton warriors advanced, the Cherry Blossom Country people kept retreating. Their morale weakened more and more. Once morale collapsed, there was no need to fight. The pressure from the skeleton warriors was too immense. As the first person screamed and fled, the Cherry Blossom Country team completely collapsed. Chapter 72. Chicken Soup needs some new ideas. The Divine Summer Empire team returned cheerfully. Those Cherry Blossom Country guys were so funny, they actually got scared away. Seeing them run with their tails between their legs was hilarious. So many career professionals scared off by a few skeletons. What a bunch of weaklings. They can clear nightmare dungeons, but if they really fought, those Cherry Blossom Country people would be toast. Of course they had to run, or they'd be dead. As many people spoke, they glanced at Lin Mo Yu. The constantly silent Lin Mo Yu seemed very mysterious in their eyes. Many whispered, speculating about Lin Mo Yu's background. Where did he come from? Could he be from a top academy? Doesn't it seem like it? Why would someone from a top academy come here? Besides, people from those top academies are busy leveling up and running high-level dungeons. Who has the time for trials? It's strange. Where did this expert come from? He rarely speaks. Fierce but quiet. His methods of killing those Shikigami was ruthless. On the way back, everyone was relaxed. Though they hadn't completed the trial mission, today's experience left them satisfied. Driving away the Cherry Blossom Country people was satisfying enough. The trial mission became secondary. Only Ling Zhen's eyes held displeasure. He occasionally looked at Lin Mo Yu with hatred, but also regret. If he hadn't pressured Jiang Taotao, then he would have been part of completing the trial. But now, we're not finished. Ling Zhen's heart was filled with hatred. The group left the light barrier, returning to the starting point. Jiang Taotao took out the mission stone and Mermaid's Tear, submitting the mission. The mission stone and Mermaid's Tear slowly rose into the air. A shadowy image of the Divine Summer Tower appeared in the sky. A beam of light shot from the tower, falling on Jiang Taotao's mission stone and Mermaid's Tear. Seconds later, an authoritative voice sounded from the sky. Trial mission complete. Begin return. The Divine Summer Tower image shone brightly, illuminating everyone. Everyone was quickly teleported back. In about 10 seconds, they were back at Hidden Dragon Academy. We're back. The trial is over. Phew. Good thing that we all made it back alive. Nonsense. How could it be that dangerous? Each year there are over 100 trials across all academies. When have you heard of deaths? Low-level trials don't have deaths. Those top academies with career professionals over level 30 lose batches of people every year. Of course, for them, our trials are just child's play. Hidden Dragon Academy was very lively, everyone discussing the trial. Lin Mo Yu was the most talked about. If not for Lin Mo Yu, they'd probably still be in a standoff with the Cherry Blossom Country people. It would have been hard to say if they could snatch the dungeon from them in the end. After all, the other side had a high level Onmyoji. Ning Yi's face turned pale again, the long-distance teleportation making her very uncomfortable. Next time we must find a closer place for trials. This young lady isn't going anywhere too far again. Ning Yi lay on the table, limp as a dead fish. Jiang Taotao smiled, relaxing now that they were back. Thank you. This trial was very important to me. She sincerely thanked Lin Mo Yu. Lin Moyu shook his head, indicating no thanks were needed. Ning Yi finally caught her breath. Sister Tao, no need to be so polite with Mo Yu. He doesn't talk much, but he's a really good person. Ning Yi hadn't actually known Lin Mo Yu for long, but strangely, she completely trusted Lin Mo Yu. Silence. A low shout came from above. Everyone looked up. A person stood in midair. Standing on thin air, level 70, third transition career professional. Lin Mo Yu felt deep respect. After reaching level 70 and completing the third transition, career professionals could stand on air and fly. This was true for any career. Even life class career professionals were the same. Of course, some rare career professionals gained flight ability early on, like Onmyoji, who could fly using Shikigami. This was different. This is our academy principal, Principal Hong Shan. Ning Yi whispered to Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu nodded slightly, his eyes showing admiration. Any career professional who completed the third transition deserved respect. High school textbooks said the third transition was extremely difficult. Less than 1% of career professionals could complete it. Such figures naturally deserved respect. As for figures like the White God, they were even rarer. The whole country only had a few. Principal Hong Shan's gaze swept over everyone, looking very satisfied. The trial has ended. The process and results are being analyzed. Final scores will be sent to your communicators later. Remember, the most important part of a trial is not the result, but the process. Enjoy the process, eliminate fear, maintain faith in victory. This is the purpose of trials. Completing the trials safely without casualty is more important than anything. I hear you encountered Cherry Blossom Country career professionals in this trial. We will analyze the specific situation. Those who performed well will naturally have a chance to enter top academies. Now rest well. After speaking, Principal Hong Shan turned and left. Ning Yi let out a long sigh. Always the same old chicken soup every time. Can't there be some new ideas? Jiang Taotao smiled as if coaxing a child. Just listen, it's meant to be encouraging. Ning Yi snorted. I don't need encouragement. Always using top academies as bait. What's so great about that? Jiang Taotao smiled even more happily. It may not be a big deal for you, but it's different for us. Ning Yi fell silent, knowing Jiang Taotao really wanted to enter a top academy. Even within Summer Capital University, there were big differences between ordinary students, academy students, and top academy students. Both ordinary and academy students saw joining a top academy as an honor. Jiang Taotao divided up the dungeon rewards. Lin Mo Yu also brought out what he obtained later. Though he and Ning Yi cleared the dungeon alone the last 2 times, he insisted they were one team, so the rewards must be shared equally. After dividing the spoils, Ning Yi and Lin Mo Yu went to the Imperial Exchange together. Lin Mo Yu had no use for these items and planned to sell them for gold coins. Ning Yi cared even less about money, giving her share to Lin Mo Yu too. Her reason was that her storage space had no room. No one would believe that excuse. Storage spaces weren't small, how could there be no room? Lin Mo Yu didn't refuse her kindness and accepted it all. After this experience, the relationship between them seemed to change slightly. Some things didn't need to be fussed over. At the Imperial Exchange, they sold all the unused silver equipment. This dungeon run dropped a silver-grade Mermaid Queen's dagger. Lin Mo Yu had originally wanted to give the dagger to Ning Yi, but Ning Yi took out an even better dagger, waving it around in front of Lin Mo Yu. Also silver-grade, but with stronger attributes. Iron grade corresponded to below level 10. Bronze was for levels 10 to 20. After level 20, stronger silver grade equipment could be used. Even among silver equipment, the gap between best and worst was significant. The Mermaid Queen was a level 24 boss, but only a level 20 dungeon. The silver weapon it dropped were only average in attributes. The only advantage was that the Mermaid Queen's weapon looked pretty. Silver equipment at the Imperial Exchange was priced between 50,000 to 200,000. The Mermaid Queen's weapon were priced at around 70,000. Lin Moyu sold the 2 Mermaid Queen's weapons plus the material obtained this time, exchanging for 180,000 gold coins. Don't you need weapons? Ningyi saw Lin Moyu empty-handed. He originally had a spell book, but Lin Moyu found it troublesome and sold it too. Lin Moyu shook his head. They're useless to me. His career was necromancer, though it had mage in the name. The skill boost attributes in stabs or spell books were ineffective for him. Lin Moyu felt his career might have its own specialized equipment. The small spirit boost wasn't very useful. Ningyi said, "Oh," and continued. You should save up money and buy more junior skill scrolls. Before your second transition, you should learn all your junior career skills. Lin Moyu listened carefully. He didn't know this information. Ningyi knew more than him. Ningyi became Teacher Ning, earnestly instructing. If you don't learn all junior skills after your second transition, you can only use intermediate skill scrolls. If you awaken a junior skill, then you'll have wasted an intermediate skill scroll. After Ningyi's explanation, Lin Moyu understood. Intermediate skill scrolls could also awaken junior skills. The price difference was a hundredfold. Using an intermediate scroll to awaken a junior skill would be a huge waste. Suddenly, Lin Moyu's communicator rang. After answering, an authoritative voice came through. Lin Moyu, come to the Academic Affairs Office. Chapter 73, Everything Within Expectation. Director Q of the Academic Affairs Office stood respectfully to the side. Bai Yuan sat casually in what was originally Q's seat. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised to see Bai Yuan when he arrived, but didn't show much reaction. Greetings, Lord White God. Greetings, Director Q. Bai Yuan chuckled and beckoned to Lin Moyu. I watched the footage of this trial. You performed very well. Is that why he was called here? Lin Moyu said softly, I only did what needed to be done. This trial was for the mermaid's tear, but Lin Moyu still didn't know what it was used for. However, since the university arranged it this way, the mermaid's tear must be useful. Bai Yuan smiled more broadly, not arrogant in victory, not discouraged in defeat. This was the best mentality to become a top expert. Do you know the use of the mermaid's tear? Lin Moyu shook his head, not knowing. Bai Yuan smiled. Actually, not many people in this trial knew the purpose of the mermaid's tear. After all, the level gap was too big. Most people can't use it. The mermaid's tear is related to the success rate of awakening talents during the second transition. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised internally. There was a chance to awaken talents during the second transition, but this chance was extremely slim. Only 1 in 10,000 could awaken talents. He had thought it was just a matter of luck, not expecting there to be items that could increase this probability. Though slightly surprised inside, Lin Moyu's expression remained unchanged. Not even his eyes showed any change. Bai Yuan could see the expected emotion in Lin Moyu's eyes and felt somewhat disappointed. Of course, items that can help awaken talents aren't limited to the mermaid's tear. It's just that the mermaid's tear is relatively easy to obtain. We originally calculated the time and location of Mermaid Island's appearance, but didn't expect Cherry Blossom Country to also figure it out, which almost caused this trial to fail. Fortunately, you were there, so you made a great contribution this time. In the Divine Summer Empire, faults must be punished, but merits must also be rewarded. What reward would you like? I'll try my best to fulfill it. Bai Yuan said a lot, but the last sentence was key. Lin Moyu thought for a moment. Can you help me find someone? Bai Yuan chuckled. I knew you'd ask this. Didn't you already check the Academic Affairs Office? Your sister Lin Mohan joined the university last year and joined Creation God Academy early this year. That's why you could only find blank records for her in the university. All students who join Creation God Academy have blank records. This time, Lin Mo Yu was truly shocked. My sister joined Creation God Academy? He knew how difficult it was to enter Creation God Academy. As the top academy in the university, its entry requirements were ridiculously high. Jiang Tao Tao ultimate dream was to join Creation God Academy. Ning Yi also told him to definitely try to join Creation God Academy if possible. Creation God Academy also had a mysterious aura in his mind. He didn't expect his sister to get in first. Lin Mo Yu realized there was an issue. How could his sister join Creation God Academy in less than half a year after entering the university? Even internal members cultivated by the university like Jiang Tato hadn't been able to join Creation God Academy. Bai Yuan said, Lin Mohan did indeed join Creation God Academy according to the rules. I can't reveal anything about Creation God Academy to you. So if you have any questions, you'll have to join Creation God Academy yourself and ask your sister. You probably won't be able to see your sister before you join Creation God Academy. Lin Mo Yu asked without hesitation, how can I join Creation God Academy? Bai Yuan was prepared for this. He operated his communicator for a moment, then Lin Mo Yu's communicator received a notification of some information. All right, I've sent you the conditions for joining Creation God Academy. You can look at them when you have time. Regarding your sister, I was going to tell you anyway, so it doesn't count as your reward. You can ask for something else. Lin Mo Yu thought for a moment. I want a cooldown talisman. Director Q had an as expected expression. Bai Yuan slapped the table and laughed heartily. Old Q, didn't I say so? Director Q laughed. My lord is truly omniscient. Completely correct. Lin Mo Yu's two requests were both within Bai Yuan's expectations. Bai Yuan looked at Lin Mo Yu teasingly. Do you know how valuable cooldown talismans are? Even junior cooldown talismans can't be bought casually. Lin Mo Yu nodded. Indeed, they couldn't be bought. Even the university exchange didn't have them. Bai Yuan said, let's deal with things separately. You performed very well in the big exam, getting the national top scholar position. The reward for that has already been given to you. So we're even on that matter. You made contributions in this trial mission, but that alone isn't enough to exchange for a junior cooldown talisman. I have a mission here. If you complete it, I'll help you get a junior cooldown talisman. Lin Mo Yu's eyes lit up. All right. With the junior cooldown talisman, things would be much more convenient for Lin Mo Yu. He could repeatedly run dungeons in a short time, greatly increasing his leveling speed. Bai Yuan said, first raise your level to 20. Then you can execute the mission. As for how to level up, you can ask Director Q. He's an expert in this area. Alright, contact me again when you reach level 20. Now Lin Mo Yu's communicator had Bai Yuan's contact information. He could contact Bai Yuan when he reached level 20. Get a cooldown talisman, join Creation God Academy, find his sister. Lin Mo Yu set these goals for himself. After Bai Yuan left, Director Q finally sat back in his own seat. He looked at Lin Mo Yu with a smile. From Bai Yuan's attitude earlier, he could see that Bai Yuan had high hopes for this young man. He knew very well what Bai Yuan was usually like. In these years, he had never seen Bai Yuan be so amiable with anyone. Even those top geniuses in Creation God Academy were scolded harshly by Bai Yuan. Bai Yuan's attitude towards Lin Mo Yu completely surpassed that towards other students. If he didn't know Lin Mo Yu's identity, he would have suspected Lin Mo Yu might be Bai Yuan's illegitimate son. Director Q smiled and said, there are many ways to level up, but the fastest way is definitely to solo dungeons. However, soloing dungeons is difficult and dangerous. Most people at most run normal difficulty and may not even fight the final boss because they can't defeat it. Besides soloing dungeons, you can find elite monster areas in the wild. There are quite a few such places, but those places are also crowded and disputes over territory often occur. There's also finding wild bosses. Wild bosses provide a lot of experience, more than dungeon bosses, and can also drop good equipment. But wild bosses are contracted by various guilds. People who don't know can't even figure out the respawn times. DirectQ mentioned many methods apart from dungeon running being somewhat reliable. All other methods weren't very feasible. These directions were only suitable for ordinary career professionals, not for Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu understood this in his heart, but still listened very patiently. Though not useful for himself, this was still knowledge. You never know when it might come in handy. For example, DirectQ mentioned public monster areas between countries, which Lin Mo Yu had never heard of before. DirectQ talked for a long time, not stopping for a full 10 minutes. Finally, seeing Lin Mo Yu had no reaction, he couldn't hold back anymore. Lord White God was right. You really don't talk much. I give up. No more jokes. Give me your ID card. I'll process some paperwork for you. Lin Mo Yu handed over his ID card. Director Q quickly processed the paperwork and also gave Lin Mo Yu a special-looking teleportation stone. This is the teleportation stone for the dungeon hall. Within the university grounds, you can use it to teleport to the university's dungeon hall. If you want to run dungeons, go there. Alright, this teleportation stone is worth 1,000 points. It's been deducted from your point card. In the university, everything was based on transactions. If you want to get something, you have to pay a corresponding price. Either labor, points, or gold coins. There is no such thing as free lunch. After leaving the academic affairs office, Lin Mo Yu's first thought of contacting Ning Yi. He had promised to help her level up and naturally couldn't go back on his word. His communicator vibrated, receiving a message from Ning Yi. Something came up, leaving for a few days. Will contact you when I'm back. Chapter 74. Dungeon Hall, getting big results with little money. Ning Yi was away on some business. Perhaps she had gone to do another mission. The first time Lin Mo Yu met Ning Yi, she was also on a mission. Lin Mo Yu didn't find it strange. At Summer Capital University, everyone was busy. No one was truly free. In a few days, this year's new student admitted to Summer Capital University would arrive. Then the university would start unified classes, becoming even busier. Lin Mo Yu didn't rush to activate the teleportation stone, but instead checked the information Bai Yuan had sent him. Requirements to enter Creation God Academy. Level over 30. Just the first requirement shocked Lin Mo Yu internally. Sister is over level 30? So fast. From the information Bai Yuan revealed, Lin Mohan had joined Creation God Academy just 3 to 4 months after entering the university. This meant Lin Mohan went from 16 to 30 in just 3 to 4 months. The speed was astonishing. Normally, going from level 20 to 30 would take about a year. Unless Lin Mohan could solo nightmare dungeons like him, but such people were extremely rare. Lin Mo Yu couldn't figure out how Lin Mohan had leveled up. He could only ask when he saw her. After reading the level requirement, Lin Mo Yu continued to the next requirement. Clear the level 30 dungeon Abyss Front Line on Hell difficulty. This condition seemed somewhat difficult. Hell difficulty was much harder than Nightmare. Clearing a Hell difficulty dungeon had comprehensive requirements for career, mentality, skills, equipment, and abilities. Ordinary teams had no chance of clearing it. Only extremely elite teams could pass. When I reach level 30, I'll try soloing it. Lin Mo Yu thought, not even considering forming a team. Soloing was much more satisfying than teaming up. Third requirement, reach 1,000 contribution points. Contribution points were different from regular points. They could only be obtained by completing university missions or doing things beneficial to the university. Like this Mermaid Island trial, he would gain some contribution points. As for how many, it was unknown at the moment. Contribution points were necessary to enter top academies, which is why Jiang Taotao said the trial was very important to her. If she wanted to join a top academy, she had to earn enough contribution points. There were only 3 requirements, not too many. But none of them were simple. After memorizing them, Lin Moyu activated the teleportation stone. He heard a clamor of noise, extremely lively. Burial Ground Dungeon. Normal difficulty. Need a level 25 mage, preferably fire specialist. Blood Brawl Orc Legion Dungeon. Nightmare difficulty. Need healer level 22 to 25. Must be a healing expert. Full bronze equipment minimum. Dark Tower Nightmare difficulty. Need level 30 plus knight. Full silver equipment required. Must have ally protection skill. Lin Moyu felt somewhat uncomfortable seeing the market-like environment. The dungeon hall was within the university, but couldn't be reached by normal means. Only after passing academic affairs review and confirming eligibility, then paying 1,000 points to buy a special teleportation stone, could one enter. Lin Moyu had originally thought the dungeon hall would be solemn and sacred, but now he saw it was like a marketplace. Many students were recruiting team members, sitting on the ground holding signs with requirements. They also called out occasionally. It was much different from outside regular dungeon entrances. Lin Moyu even doubted if this was really the dungeon hall. Had he come to the wrong place? Looking past these people, he saw a huge hall. That must be the real dungeon hall. Lin Moyu walked in. All the clamor disappeared the moment he stepped into the dungeon hall. People inside were also talking, but in hushed voices. A strange sound also echoed in the hall. Vortex-like dungeon entrances were distributed throughout the corners of the hall. The sound came from these dungeon entrances. Different dungeons produced different sounds. There were over 100 entrances, their various sounds interweaving to form a very unique soundscape. Each dungeon entrance had a crystal ball. The crystal balls displayed information like the dungeon name, level requirements, entry rules, cooldown time, etc. Back in West Sea First High, Lin Moyu knew the Empire controlled many dungeon resources, but didn't expect Summer Capital University to also control so many dungeon resources. This world had countless dungeons. It seemed reasonable for the Divine Summer Empire's top university to control some dungeon resources. After all, even figures like the White God came from Summer Capital University. More accurately, over half of the Divine Summer Empire's top experts came from Summer Capital University. Above each dungeon entrance vortex was a light screen. The screen displayed records for that dungeon. Lin Moyu observed that the screens only showed the top 3 records, and only for the highest difficulty. If a dungeon had Hell difficulty, only the top 3 Hell records were shown. If it only had Nightmare difficulty, then the top 3 Nightmare records. The records included clear time, team members' names, levels, careers, etc. This served as a reference. Other teams wanted to clear the dungeon could copy successful strategies. After many teams' attempts, very good compositions had been found. If you could find an even better one and set a new record, that would be even better. This setup had a competitive element. It would make teams want to strive for first place. Appearing on a dungeon-ranked board was a great honor. "Excuse me," a gentle voice suddenly came from behind Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu turned to see a female student about 20 years old standing behind him. She took a deep breath, gathered her courage. Hello, is this your first time in the dungeon hall? Lin Mo Yu nodded. She continued, My name is Shu Han. I can introduce you to everything in the dungeon hall. There's no free lunch. Mana doesn't fall from heaven. Especially in Summer Capital University, to gain something, you must give something. Lin Mo Yu asked, How much? Shu Han immediately said, 100 points is enough. She seemed a bit nervous. Perhaps this was her first time doing this. 100 points. It didn't sound like much, but points weren't easy to earn. Actually, 100 points wasn't little. Lin Mo Yu didn't respond immediately, seeing Lin Mo Yu hadn't agreed. Shu Han quickly said 70 points is also okay. Let's go with 100. Lin Mo Yu transferred 100 points to Shu Han. After receiving the points, Shu Han let out a long sigh of relief and smiled sweetly. Thank you. The main function of the dungeon hall is to access various dungeons. The entire dungeon hall, there are 40 dungeons for levels 10 to 40. The remaining 52 are for levels 40 to 70. Besides those, there are 2 large dungeons and 1 super large dungeon. 95 dungeons in total. Large dungeons were for 40 plus players, while super large dungeons were called 100 player dungeons. Lin Mo Yu asked, What about the dungeons above level 70? Shu Han shook her head. Dungeons above level 70 aren't here. Lin Mo Yu roughly understood dungeons above level 70 were likely managed directly by the university. They wouldn't be placed in the dungeon hall for casual access. Those dungeons were very important resources. The materials and equipment that appeared in them were very useful. Shu Han continued explaining the various functions of the dungeon hall. For Lin Mo Yu, though, this was just information he could figure out eventually on his own. Having someone explain them saved him a lot of time. The cost was just 100 points. He still had over 130,000 points, so 100 was just a small amount. Each dungeon has corresponding clear records. If you can set a new record, you'll get rewards. Dungeon entry conditions also vary. Most require meeting a basic level, but some require an average team level. Some special dungeons also have requirements for the highest or lowest level in the team. Dungeons were diverse with different requirements. Lin Mo Yu asked, Are there any dungeons without level requirements? Shu Han shook her head. There used to be, but after people died inside, it was too dangerous. The university set level requirements, not allowing entry if your level is too low. There are still many dungeons without level requirements in the wild. There was a fundamental difference in safety between entering dungeons through the dungeon hall versus wild dungeons. Inside, you could exit the dungeon at any time if in danger. You could choose to leave. Safety was greatly increased. Unless instantly killed, it was hard to die. In other words, the money wasn't wasted. From the dungeon level setting and ranking competitions, Lin Mo Yu saw the university wanted to cultivate students from low-level to high-level dungeons while striving to ensure student safety. Students admitted to Summer Capital University were all talented. Losing even one would pain the university greatly. So safety was naturally important. That's why dungeon levels were specified, determining what level could enter what dungeon. Aiming too high wasn't allowed. Chapter 75. Turns out he's just a kid under level 20. Shu Han explained things very thoroughly, living up to her payment. Lin Mo Yu felt like he had gotten great value for his small investment of 100 points. Through Shu Han's explanation, Lin Mo Yu learned the specific rules of the dungeon hall. Entering dungeons required not only meeting the dungeon's requirements, but also paying additional points. At Summer Capital University, everything revolved around points. Entering dungeons was no exception. The higher the dungeon level, the more points required. Points could also be spent to remove dungeon cooldowns. Even without cooldown talismans, with enough points, one could repeatedly run dungeons. Lin Moyu was pleasantly surprised. This way, he could definitely speed up his leveling significantly. Shu Han brought Lin Moyu to the center of the dungeon hall. Several crystal balls were arranged in there. Shu Han explained, "This is the mission center and team recruitment center of the dungeon hall. The mission center has many missions, mainly collecting materials, equipment, and special items from various dungeons. You can complete missions to exchange for points or post your own missions to collect materials and items. The Team Requirements Center is for forming teams. You can post recruitments or join other teams." The two functions were also very practical, but points were the prerequisite. Both the Mission Center and Team Requirements Center required points. Posting missions cost points, and submitted missions had points deducted. Posting team requirements cost points, only joining teams was free. At Summer Capital University, points were hard currency needed everywhere. Over half an hour, Shu Han had thoroughly explained the situation in the dungeon hall to Lin Moyu. "Is there anything else you don't understand?" At this moment, Lin Moyu's communicator suddenly vibrated. He received 50 contribution points, his score from the Mermaid Island trial. Not much, still far from the 1,000 contribution points needed to join Creation God Academy. Lin Moyu asked, "How do you earn contribution points?" Shu Han asked, "Are you asking about the university's contribution points?" Lin Moyu nodded. Shu Han said, "There aren't many ways to get contribution points. Participating in university-organized trials is one way. Completing missions assigned by the university can also earn contribution points. In the mission center, some missions are posted by the university. Completing them can earn some contribution points. But these missions are very popular. Generally, they're completed soon after being posted. Everyone wants to earn contribution points to join academies. Contribution points are necessary." Lin Moyu checked the mission center. There were indeed a few missions posted by the university, but the contribution points earned for completing them were very few, usually 2 or 3 points, with the highest mission only offering 10 points. It's very difficult to earn contribution points. Lin Moyu suddenly felt that his 50 contribution points were quite a lot. He guessed Jiang Taotao and the others probably didn't earn more than him. His communicator rang. Answering, Duan Gao's excited voice came through. "Moyu, how many contribution points did you get?" "I got 20 points. I made a big profit this time." "Sister Tao got 30 points. She's overjoyed." Lin Moyu said softly, 50 points. "Wow, Sister Tao was right. You definitely got the most points." "Gosh, 50 points at once. That's worth several of my missions. Next time there's a trial mission, I must team up with you. I want to ride your coattails." Duan Gao excitedly rambled on for a while before hanging up. Shu Han was stunned. To get 50 contribution points from one trial mission. Contribution points were very hard to obtain. Not just Shu Han, but several people nearby were also stunned. What kind of trial mission earned 50 contribution points? They had done trial missions before, usually only getting 5 or 10 points. Unless performing exceptionally well, maybe 20 points at most. Getting 50 points at once was unheard of, except for high-level trial missions after the second transition. He must be lying. How could there be such high contribution points? I haven't heard of any high-level trial missions recently, and he doesn't look very high-level. Right, he must be boasting. Lin Moyu ignored the whispering crowd and said to Shu Han, "Thank you." The 100 points were well spent. Shu Han quickly shook her head. "You're welcome. You paid for it. Are you going to find a team to run dungeons now?" Lin Moyu went to a dungeon entrance. Mutant Forest, level 17 dungeon. Requirements for entering career professionals between levels 15 and 19. In the dungeon hall, there were only 2 low-level dungeons below level 20. Mutant Forest was one of them. Entering this dungeon cost 10 points. Removing the cooldown cost 40 points. The previous record for this dungeon was 58 minutes. set 3 years ago. The record-setting team had 5 members: 1 knight, 1 prophet, 3 mages. Everyone was level 19, full bronze equipment. The powerful composition with 3 damage dealers allowed them to progress extremely quickly. This record had stood for 3 years unbroken. The second place time was 1 hour 17 minutes, nearly 20 minutes slower. Lin Moyu paid 10 points and chose Nightmare difficulty to enter the dungeon. Seeing Lin Moyu enter a low-level dungeon, the people in the dungeon hall exploded. Wow, I thought he was some big shot. Turns out he's just a kid under level 20. Right? Acting all high and mighty here. Getting 50 contribution points from 1 trial mission? More like 50 regular points. But he's soloing the dungeon. That's pretty gutsy. Haha, he'll probably come out with his tail between his legs soon. The crowd completely disbelieved Lin Moyu's claim of 50 contribution points from 1 trial mission, thinking it was a tall tale. Now seeing Lin Moyu enter a low-level dungeon, they all mocked him. They felt Lin Moyu was just bragging, but Shu Han felt Lin Moyu wasn't making things up. Lin Moyu gave her a strange feeling, as if he was full of confidence, giving an illusion of being in complete control. Perhaps everything he said was true. This thought popped into Shu Han's mind, startling even herself. 50 contribution points. How outstanding would one's performance need to be to earn that? She couldn't even imagine it. Lin Moyu found himself in an ancient forest. Wind rustled the leaves, making a rustling sound. Thick layers of dead leaves covered the ground. It seemed no one had set foot here for countless years. Occasional beast roars came from the forest, inspiring fear. Standing outside the forest, one could see beasts roaming inside. Mutant forest. The beasts inside were affected by a mysterious power, mutating. The beasts became terrifying, fierce beasts. Bears, tigers, wolf packs, all kinds of fierce beasts were present. Besides the visible ones, some were hidden in the bushes, making various snakes and mutant insects. One could be ambushed if not careful in the forest, breaking the record, getting rewards. Lin Moyu thought for a moment. Large numbers of skeleton warriors appeared beside him. A full 108 skeleton warriors, not one less. The skeleton warriors injured by the Mermaid Queen had fully recovered. Go. The skeleton warriors charged into the mutant forest with their unique clattering sound. Mutant Gray Bear, Enhanced Elite Monster. Level 17. Strength 1,400. Agility 1,000. Spirit 500. Constitution 1,600. Skill Roar Attack. Mutant White Tiger, Enhanced Elite Monster. Level 18. Strength 1,700. Agility 1,500. Spirit 400. Constitution 1,500. Skill Roar. He used detection to check the attributes of 2 fierce beasts in succession. Compared to the skeleton warriors 5,400 in all 4 attributes, there was no comparison. The skeleton warriors charged into the forest like tigers among sheep, rampaging through. Each monster took at most 3 strikes to kill. Kill level 17 Mutant Gray Bear. Experience plus 6,000. Obtained Beast Hide times 5. Killed level 18 Mutant White Tiger. Experience plus 7,000. Obtained Beast Hide times 4. Notifications flooded the screen. Experience steadily increased. When entering the dungeon, experience was 17, 32.57%. Wonder how much it will be after clearing the dungeon.